Okay, so let's have a slight retcon, and let's say that you guys are on your way to the Kaloyan Manor, since
Jordan fell, or because Eric fell asleep.
essentially, yes.
Braxton Cromwell just went into a PTSD vision and couldn't really react there. That's the canon reason.
They just walk in. It's like, it's just me, or did Braxton start snoring on the road here?
Oh, I haven't watched that. I haven't watched the end of the last one. I haven't felt it. I keep avoiding it out of shame.
You literally are caught snoring on the videos.
It could be my girlfriend. She was over that night, and she does snore really loud too. So yeah,
I hope not that it like picked up on your mic.
Yeah, like what can you hear from your mic?
It's a lot.
In your offense, Eric.
By the way, just so you know, Eric, I just recorded you saying that about your girlfriend.
Only like 3 people watch this video. It won't fucking matter.
Indeed, but still, in your offense, Eric, it started when you essentially quote unquote stopped talking and ended when you actually started talking. So the evidence doesn't match, my guy.
Wait, I talk at the end?
No, you don't talk at the end of it.
I think you were talking before.
No, it was when you it started when you fell unconscious, and it ended like when you were just waking up.
Oh, okay. He cut the recording, and then I woke up.
Yeah, pretty much. You cut the recording like 5 minutes after you woke up, and you texted. Hey,
I did a timestamp of me falling asleep. I'm gonna add that in later.
Okay, so. For the purposes of said recap, you still did cast the Divine Sense. You noticed the alarming population of undead in the city. And then you arrive at the Burgomaster's Manor.
Ooh, you got a map this time.
Yes. I had this map last time. But I never uploaded it.
Now that's recorded.
You know what? I think we all needed that soft reboot reset. It wasn't just me. I mean, Jordan messaged me afterwards like, thank God you fell asleep because I passed out as soon as you left.
Indeed.
It's going to help a lot better that we're starting 3 hours earlier.
Right.
Not that early.
2 hours at least. Yeah, but anyways, yeah.
As Ismark opens the door and all of you essentially see the grand foyer, Ismark calls out to a name that most of you are familiar with, and he just goes Irina. At which point a female voice answers him, and he starts heading to the 2nd floor.
What does Irina sound like?
She doesn't. She's mute.
Oh, okay. Because I thought it would have been like, Nico, cousin. He's fuck you.
Sunny will ask as he's going upstairs, are we following, or are you bringing her here?
He gestures for you to follow.
I will follow.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Braxton will follow behind Sunny.
Aldrin will look around, contemplate actually just walking away from you guys and going back to the bar before following you guys.
Braxton's just like, oh, Sunny, can you move over? You're kind of blocking me in here.
Oh, apologies. Hello, as I look over to Elena and just...
Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, new person, you just walk right next to her. Okay, I see how it is.
I presume you all understand what his personality is in his form.
So I'm assuming you're the sister Rio heard about.
Ismar goes, yes, allow me to introduce you. This is Irina Kaloyana. She is my adopted sister. At which point she nods and goes, "Pleasure to meet all three of you," and then looks at Sunny, "4 of you?"
As you take a seat at the
Ah.
top.
Yes, I am a person.
I was not sure. We
It
do
is
have
fine.
stories of constructs much like yourself.
Ah, I take no offense. I understand that not all creatures such as myself, or at least who look like me, may have souls.
Yeah, but don't you worry yourself, dearie. Sonny here's a real boy.
Yes, yes, yes. Talking armor. Yes, but more importantly, allow
I
me to
do not
introduce myself.
I do not identify as male or female.
Yes, he's an it. It is an it or they or
It would
whatever
be
metal
offensive.
wishes to identify itself with.
Sunny is Sunny. Rock.
He's copper.
Actually, I am titanium, but I
Is
am.
that a type of adamantine?
It is not adamantine, but rather a strong earth metal. But that is neither here nor there. They will do for pronouns.
Yes, they. Well, after contemplating the existence of metal, allow me to introduce myself. I am Eldraine Elrain. And Eldraine takes her hand and kisses it and presumes to act as scummy as possible as he tries to sort of, I don't know, flirt with a non-elf and says, "And who might you be, oh divine star in the shadowed lands?"
Okay, with this, Irina is slightly taken aback, but
Can I tell if she is uncomfortable?
yes.
Mike,
Actually, are you proficient with insight?
I am.
Oh, roll insight real quick.
Okay.
Please be garbage. So, oh, too bad.
18.
You get a strange inkling. She's not just uncomfortable, but there's something more there, and it goes beyond like him being an elf.
Aldrin, may I have your assistance for a moment?
Fine. As he like over dramatically expresses and walks over to Sunny.
Braxton will move out of the way so you can get to Sunny.
Yes, quite a small room here.
Ah, thank you. That will be all. If you could stay here, that would be.
nice.
You really brighten up this specific portion of the room by staying right here.
Thank you. I
I like-
appreciate your assistance. Now, if you could stay there, that would be most helpful.
What?
Don't worry about it, Sonny. Good job, Sonny. In any case, sir, I don't know if your brother might have mentioned this, but we were brought here against our will by a man named Strahd. Or Strahd?
Straw?
I believe it's just Strahd. I don't know why you keep putting it there in the front of it.
Full
I
name.
thought the Strahd. You know?
Oh, no. Okay.
Full name. Designation. Strahd von Zarovich, Lord of Barovia.
You know, when you actually say the full name, the both Ismark and Irina kind of wince a bit.
There's something against saying his full name.
There's a myth that each time you say the devil's name, he can spy on your conversation.
Ah, that's Sonny. Don't say the name again. I don't know whether it's real or not, but we're not taking any chances in this area.
Duly noted.
Yeah,
Can I
it's
roll?
just Irina does kind of look at this mark and just go, so they're that recently they haven't been here long, have they? And Ismark just nods. And Irina proceeds to explain. When you're not around other people, refer to that man's name as the devil. More or less everyone not affiliated with him does so.
Fair enough. We won't refer to him by his name.
Naturally, the rule does not apply if you believe
So
yourself
if we
to
were
be.
to, oh sorry.
Naturally, the rule doesn't apply if you believe yourself to be eyed on by one of his informants.
I gotcha.
If we were to find like a person who's like, oh hey, I'm the devil's best friend, we were able to say it around them, and could that be like a good way to earn their trust, or?
I think the case of the matter is that they introduce him as that name, then I guess the harms have already done.
Ismar kind of sighs and just goes, remember how I referred to Strahd in the tavern? The reason why I did so was because the three Vastani in said tavern are, well, they're not confirmed agents, but we highly suspect it. After all, they got the inn for literally dirt cheap, and the person who sold it to them has yet to be a known figure either here nor in Valaki.
I see. Well, then that's a bit of a...
So they just found the deed randomly?
Essentially.
So
I see.
So there's no person named Petrovich in that Valaki area then that they told me about.
Most likely not.
What can you trust anymore?
Well, certainly not Vastani. They're a chaotic tricksy lot.
You say that to like an Elaborate.
Braxton will be like, well, setting that aside, hello, Irina, I am Braxton Cromwell. I just wanted to say hi. We haven't really introduced myself, all that fun stuff.
Good day.
Well, I guess we haven't introduced ourselves. Sorry about that, Seamus.
Irina.
A pleasure.
I am.
And she shakes both of your hands.
I am SU-N21, but I have been given the nickname Sunny. A pleasure.
Pleasure. And
Here.
she kind of nods to you.
Here. And I will go to my pouch and I will pull out a lollipop. And hand it to her.
Okay, hold on. Let me roll an in check.
Wait, you...
Is the Sunny okay? Does Sunny have like a freaking like STC of lollipops, and whenever he heals somebody, he just has one that he just pulls out?
I have 10 days worth of rations that I don't need to eat, so I figured it'd be funny if it was just candy that he hands out to people.
Just 10 days worth of
Candy.
food for 10 days, but it's all candy?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Irina kind of looks at it, bewildered.
Do you not know what this is?
You get the feeling she doesn't.
This is a consumable item known as a lollipop. It is crystallized sugar with added syrup flavoring. I am told that it is delectable to eat, so I give it to people when they need to feel better, or if they are a patient of mine. But you seem nice, so I will give you one.
Okay. Ismark chuckles at that.
Well, in any case, sir, back to the
I should
topic at
take it.
hand. Do you have any idea why The devil person here is after you, lass.
Head tilts. After me?
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
Seamus will show her the
yes,
letter.
this letter. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, I presume you hand her the letter?
Yeah, I handed the letter.
Okay. Let me actually set up whispered rolling.
Funnily enough, Warforged actually make really good doctors because they can't get disease themselves.
And I mean, you can always just burn off whatever contaminants they're on them.
Okay. So Irina reads the letter, rereads certain parts of it, and hands it back and just goes, well, if I must speculate, I'm guessing that whoever this Vastani that gave you this probably wanted you to find either of us.
I would suspect that it was Strahd's doing that we received these letters.
Yeah,
Perhaps-
remember, Sonny, we call him the devil.
Oh, apologies. I believe
Perhaps, but not all Vastani work for the devil. This might have just been a casual trick set by them to lure you here for whatever reason. It might as well have been planned by the devil. Or it might just be one of the Vastani leaders' ploy to attempt to get rid of Strahd.
Say, do these Vistani know of a way to leave this realm if they're so able to just hop around?
Yes, they share that quality amongst all of them. They could both enter and leave the mist almost at will.
Can they take other people with them?
They claim they can, but according to our records, they have very rarely done so.
Well, that's an interesting twist in this problem.
regardless of our current predicament, I believe we should also move on to the more immediate task at hand. The undead plague ravaging your city. Do you believe there is anything that can be done about it?
She thinks and just looks at Ismark and goes, well, if we found the source of said plague, we could perhaps at the very least stop any further incidents. We have been attempting to do so, but it's been the plague, the disappearances, the black carriage strolling about town almost constantly now for the past week. The departure of the previous burgomaster, I shall be honest with you, it does slightly feel like the world is crumbling.
I can see what you're thinking that.
Night is darkest before the dawn. Do not give up hope yet.
Why haven't you, I don't know, summoned a, what do you mortals call them, priests to deal with these dead things?
We do have Father Donovan who resides in the local chapel, but there's only so much a single priest can do. The number of cases is rapidly approaching hundreds at this point.
Well, if it eases your mind, I am also a priest. Perhaps I can be of assistance.
Oh, it will be greatly appreciated. I'm sure that our coffers could be open to ready at hand mercenaries.
Yes. But have you ever? Did you ever find out where this plague, you call it, originated from? Was it from this devil, as you call him?
She kind of looks at you and just goes and shrugs and does go, "Well, if it was Strahd's goal to start up a plague, I'm sure he would have had both the opportunity to do so and the means, but normally he doesn't work like that.
Seems a bit of a wasted effort for a man so powerful, then.
It's both that and he likes to put on airs of nobility, but he does, to a weird extent, follow the law.
So he has some sort of code of honor that he follows.
I wouldn't go that far, but yes. It is rumored that the reason why the Vastani can go in and out of the mist as they please is because the devil himself owes them a favor and has been repaying it ever since. According to Madame Eva, friend of our father, the Vastani, back when he was human, helped him in a battle that he was wounded in. They nursed him back to health and returned him to his, at the time, army, and he swore them a debt.
I have a quick question. You said there were disappearances around town?
Yes, that is another thing that has been plaguing us. For the past year, about one person on average has just gone missing. It mostly plagues the adults, but recently it's a child named Gertrude has disappeared about 2 weeks ago, and well, Mary has been inconsolable ever since.
Kid's gone missing. That's a bit of a crying shame. You said the mother's name is Mary.
She nods. She lives about 5 buildings to the north of the main entrance of this manor.
What's the child's name again? I just forgot.
Gertrude.
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 May I, not to derail the conversation, but you had mentioned a black carriage had been spotted in town as of recently. Do you know anything of it more than that? Or no?
Well, we are aware that Strahd's enforcer uses it most of the time.
The devils.
Yeah, that's Jordan being a derp at 3 in the morning, my bad.
You're good.
I have done this mistake 4 times now.
Michael, they talked about it last session and how like Strahd's enforcer goes around in the black carriage and then like fucking cuts people's heads off and shit if they're caught outside while he's patrolling.
I know that, but this Sonny was more inquiring like, is this a different black carriage or the same one?
There's only one widely known black carriage in Barovia.
It's just someone grabs a carriage, paints it black, and then it's made. Everyone is just spooked of him.
Yeah,
Actually,
so Seamus
that
was
is
about to
not-
go. It's like, that's not a black carriage. I mean, that's easy enough to make.
Yeah.
It's not really the fact that it's a black carriage, it's the fact that it carries the sigil of Ravenloft. And it's hard to miss.
Well,
Do you guys have any sort of? I mean, I know that recently the main burgomaster passed away, or maybe not recently. But do you guys have any sort of plans or ideas on how to fix this town, or are we just spitballing here, or are we just seeing all the issues and seeing what we can do about them locally?
Well, the way we see it, we can't really do anything about the black carriage. It's Rohadin's purview to wander as his master demands.
Try- but we should try to avoid it if we see it coming, correct?
mm, Well, contrary to popular belief, Rohadin only enforces the devil's commands. He doesn't randomly just. He kind of looks at you and just goes, cut off people's heads.
I see.
But if he arrives at your doorstep, it's very rarely good news.
Understood.
We hear a knock on the door.
Good evening.
Hello, I am SU-N21. Who might you be?
We just see a
At least it
robotic
didn't-
head roll over.
Anyway,
But if you choose one task, then me and Ismark will be able to investigate the other at our leisure. And I am sure that with our attentions not quite so divided, we can produce more results.
That sounds fair. So which one would you prefer us to take care of?
Ismark kind of looks at you and does go, if you could solve the disappearances, that would be... Well, I don't mean to offend, but I do not know your skill level nor your speciality, so
Well, we're pretty
we
versatile
would prefer
bunch.
to deal.
Oh.
We would prefer to deal with the plague ourselves, as it's a pressing concern.
very well. If you find our assistance is required, or wanted, please inform us.
Don't suppose there's any place you could sort of start us off to look for these missing people? Like the last one seen, sir. I suppose actually you said the child was the last one seen. Gertrude, you said, right?
Gertruda, yes.
Well then, lads.
Maybe we should talk to Mary.
I suppose it's just the same thing. Might as well go start at the, see about the mother.
We were planning on burying our father today, and it's on the way. We will lead you to her house, and should you require anything further of us, you could find us at the church.
Much appreciated.
Do you want
Meh.
us to join you when you come to bury your father, or do you want us just to work on the whole Mary situation? Gertruda.
That is up to you.
I mean, I suppose it won't hurt to actually pay our condolences to the family.
May I ask, to what god does this priest and church belong?
It is the Church of the Morning Lord.
Does that sound familiar to me?
It wouldn't.
And the Morning Lord? I am unfamiliar.
It is one of the two gods that Barovia believes in. His opposite being the Moon Maiden.
I worship.
He kind of goes to one side of the room and presents you a holy symbol of the Morning Lord, which is a giant, palm-sized, stylized sun.
Oh, that is very similar to my god, Pelor.
It might be. From. Would you be aware of this with your backstab? Make me a religion check.
You got it. 20, not natural.
It might be like an aspect of Pelor, like Pelor might be known as the Morning Lord in this region.
I was thinking that, Sonny will say, it may be likely that this Dawnfather is simply another name for Pelor, and vice versa.
Morning Lord.
Oh, I apologize.
Dawnfather, just completely different to you.
Listen, I got...
So
Sorry.
many goddamn sun deities.
Yeah, it's almost like
surprisingly
it's
very
popular.
common.
Yeah.
It's like everyone worships the sun or something.
Yeah, it's almost
Anyway.
like every medieval society worshipped the sun in some way or another.
Anyway, yes, this morning was... Oh shit! Now I'm getting all mixed up. It's the
Morning Lord.
Morning Lord. Okay. Yes, this Morning Lord may be similar to Pelor, or the same deity, just known by a different name. Perhaps a talk with the priest will give me more insight as to this.
Well, you are welcome to follow along. To
Yes.
be completely honest, goes Ismark, I have tried to avoid most of the lectures that Father Donovan has given us, and Irina just glares at him.
Are you?
Ismark does really seem like the lesser the more and more he speaks.
Are
Which
you?
feels rude.
Are you devoid of hope, or simply do not believe the scripture?
I believe that there are a few problems that a god can help you with that can't also be solved with steel.
Well, I have adopted a philosophy of taking the wisdom of both God and steel.
Ismark just goes hedging your bets, I see.
Yes, he seems like he really knows steel.
Make me an insight.
Which one?
Roll psychic damage too, because holy shit, that joke.
Who's rolling insight?
The person that wants to know of Ismark's combat level.
I kind of want to know. So
Yeah.
I will leave it to you.
I'm really worried about all these high rolls before we go into combat right now, guys.
hey,
Who's to say that we would
Lucky.
go into combat though? I mean, you know,
yeah,
like
I
we
mean,
could just we could just survive and just talk our way out of every situation. We're just like, hey, vampire, demon, devil, man, just let us go home. And it's like, fine, okay, you said it well enough, I guess.
Indeed.
You know,
So,
nobody's ever asked that
with-
before.
I think we're a pretty high charisma party, aren't we?
We're nothing but
I can get-
charisma.
I can get a +10 to my persuasion if I use my channel divinity.
With
Jesus.
an,
6.
with an insight of 15, you have seen how Ismark carries himself and general reactions and awareness. You also see his equipment. He's carrying a single longsword, matched with a short sword, and he seems fairly adept at using both.
Okay, Aldrin looks at Ismark up and down, snorts
Like-
and shrugs.
You would not happen to be of a similar persuasion as to I, would you?
Persuasion.
He's asking
Oh.
if you're metal.
No. I am asking, how you put it earlier. Are under some sort of divine influence.
Looks at you confused.
I think he
And-
wants to know whether you're blessed by a god.
Not to my knowledge.
My apologies.
Why, Sonny, do you like generally ask that to everybody you see?
Do you have a god?
I just imagine Sonny's carrying around pamphlets at this moment.
He probably does have a couple in his back pocket.
Rocco and Sunny meet and just exchange pamphlets.
Sunny starts knocking on the dead door. I presume that's why Sunny was knocking on the dead person's door, asking if they've heard about the glory of Paylor.
Yeah, Sunny, you forgot to like slip a brochure underneath the door slit.
I'll do that next time.
All right. So, then yeah, I guess let's head up. Yeah, where you guys burying your the burgomaster?
They said there was at the church, Braxton.
Yes.
Hey, well then, if we want, we can. I mean, we can just look around the town a little bit as we head up, and then we'll join them for the whole procession, just in case. And then we'll start investigating the missing persons if it is in our time. Does that sound all right with everyone else?
I think that's about right. We'll head off and I think we'll head off to the church with him. Be for the burial and start investigating.
I suppose I've never been to your churches and acts of faith. Seems interesting.
To be honest, our
If
right
you
side
wish.
shit boring, but life goes on. At least for some of
If
us.
you wish.
Okay. Well, with that, Ismark and Irina will take a few minutes to grab a few things and meet you outside the house. At which point you can start heading to the church. I would like one of you to roll me a d10.
Oh, can I?
Go for it, Michael.
Let the robot do it.
Rolling
Roll
D10.
one. Roll that's a 9.
I mean, that's good or bad. We have no idea what this is for.
No, this is a randomly generated table. Don't worry about it.
That's what I figured.
Suddenly, vampires.
Okay, suddenly Strahd.
That's on
Oh.
100.
That's impressive
Probably.
with a D10.
I don't know this fucking game. Strahd probably does show up sometimes. Jesus.
Indeed. Okay, so
I'm realizing I need to get a notebook for this game because I've already forgotten these two's names.
Ismark and Irina.
Ismark, Irina. Here, hold on. I'll.
Yeah, I was asking. Actually, I think I remember asking for.
We
yeah,
have a
notes,
notes
baby.
section, man. I put the Mary
Yeah.
missing. I've been updating it with the Mary part.
Here, hold
Oh.
on.
Ismark the Lesser, completely trustworthy, has adopted sister Irina who may be in danger.
Yeah.
It's on there.
It's
I
in there.
did
That's
not
why I
notice
did
that
add
one
that.
there.
Yeah, that's why I got the Mary and the Gertrude the child.
Thank you, Heath.
Hold on.
Yeah, we
Let's
if we
see,
all
roll it
update it occasionally, we should have something usable.
Okay, roll it in. Dark Elf dispenses Strahd's justice. Yeah. Looks like Aldrin. Strahd. Done. Madam Eva.
I will look at Ismark and I will say, if you desire, I can proceed over the burial and stop the corpse from becoming an undead for a week.
No offense, Sonny, but they have their own priest.
Indeed, Father Donovan has already done so.
Oh, I apologize then.
So, I made you guys a quote-unquote NPCs folder, just for ease of use.
Ah, thank you.
I'll leave your notes there as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so as you exit the house and start heading northwards, both Irina and Ismark will be carrying the coffin. You spot a black carriage heading in the opposite way that you are currently heading to.
Oh,
You're on the main road exiting the manor currently.
Cool.
So is it heading up north towards the church or whatever? Like in Lord?
No,
Okay.
it's heading towards you. You're heading
Oh.
north.
Anybody
okay.
else wondering we should never get the robot to roll again?
Oh gosh, there's a back road right here. We'll just take the long way. Just take a quick right. Just turn around.
And I think we're a bit seen at this point, though, don't you think?
I mean, if he's gonna turn after us, we're gonna have to talk to him anyway.
I suppose you're
suppose
right.
we
We could take the. You mind if we all turn here, just see if he's after us, or if it's just one
Just
weird
do a
ass
quick
coincidence.
wee.
I mean, he may just be a totally honorable and just friend.
Maybe.
I mean, not all.
I believe if he wanted to start a confrontation with us, we would be powerless to stop him from doing so.
Oh, I agree. So,
Yes.
nothing hurts though taking a right way and see if he just goes past us. Maybe he's not after us. It's, don't start trouble where we don't need to.
Very well.
Whatever.
Ismar kind of agrees with that state sentiment. And he does go with, I highly doubt that Rohadin has gotten any reports of you being here as of yet. So you should be just normal. Well, maybe not normal, but at the very least residents.
Great. Let's take the side road.
Okay. Ismark and Irina will continue on the main road. Who would like to take said side road?
I thought they were all going together.
Oh wait, so they think that if they can, they're thinking they could just walk right past.
Yes.
Okay, Braxton would probably say that Aldrin and Sunny should probably take the side road, seeing as how they don't look like regular residents, and everyone keeps giving them funny looks.
I'm sure I can talk to this fellow elf
No.
and be some
Uh,
sort of understanding.
You know what? How about the three of you go that way? I'll stick with the brother and sister.
Alright, that's fine.
Okay.
Come on, Sunny, come on, Aldrin.
And I'm going to use my mask of many faces, and I'm going to make myself look like just the last peasant, like the clothing of the last peasant I saw, so I look exactly like every fucking other citizen.
Okay.
I will go with Braxton, as it seems like it would make him feel more comfortable.
Aldrin will shrug and follow Braxton and Sunny.
Thank you very much. I know that, we'll probably have more than enough chances to meet that man when we have to. But, for now, let's keep it low profile, all that fun stuff.
Indubitably, my friend, indubitably.
Oh, we've already peeled away.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Seamus, you already, yeah?
Oh, I thought you guys were still talking before you turned off.
So Shama says the both of your parties meet. The black carriage slows a bit, but never stopping. It just moves past them. You do notice this black carriage. It's very well ornated with what you presume is silver lining, and on both sides of the doors there's a sigil that you presume is Ravenloft's sigil. It is a single crow with wings spread apart.
Got it. And we'll
And you continue towards the church unabated.
I was just kind of waiting for you to say. Then he turns to find Braxton and the others, and do the other three join us quickly?
Yes, there isn't anything actively hostile currently, so you can reconvene at your leisure.
Well, that was at least a bit uneventful. How was your stroll?
I mean, any thoughts, Sonny?
I believe that we are safe for the moment, relatively speaking, of course.
Aldrin?
Yes, yes. Honestly speaking, I'm not even sure what time it is currently, but I kind of just want to go get drunk. So let's chop hurry up this funeral, as you people call it.
What do you people call it when someone's dead?
And 50% of the chance they either die in the mortal world and we don't care, or they just live eternally in Feywilds.
I would ask that you show solemnness for this event out of respect.
Okay. And for the first time in his life, Aldrin attempts to look solemn.
Thank you.
Roll me a performance.
Disadvantage? I don't know.
I will roll a disadvantage. I don't care. All right, I'm rolling at disadvantage. Performance.
I'm not the DM. Fucking.
It didn't matter.
You give it your best shot.
You just put your helmet on fully, so you just don't even have to. You're just like, oh, I'll put this back on for the rest of this.
If I rolled a nat 20, I would say I'd suddenly just turn into winter form.
Sunny will just go over and just slightly tweak, like, the eyes, I guess, kind of like squint your eyes a little bit, and then move your lips a little bit, so you look a little more solemn. There. Thank you.
So this is how you mortals do it.
The robot is teaching the fucking elf how to emote.
I'm very good at it, you see.
You studied it for years.
It's the Darth Vader meme with your fucking head.
I fucked this one up.
You
I
know-
see.
You think being
Oh
allowed?
man, holy shit. We're bigger than the church.
I'm noticing, yeah, I see what I did there. Hold on.
You mean you got the sizing wrong?
I didn't. I never expanded it to its proper dimension.
That's what I figured. Yeah, you got the sizing wrong.
Alright, more character RP while Jordan fucking sweats.
I hope you guys realize that my character's personality goes wildly different depending on what form he is.
So Braxton,
Oh,
tell
yeah.
me. Yeah. So Braxton, tell me. When we came to a world of a vampire filled with undead monstrosities and dangerous creatures all about us, do you think the oddest thing we'd see today is a robot teaching an elf how to act like a human?
Honestly, no, but I'm quite surprised. I'm glad that I can write it down. You know, worst comes to worst, and we get out of here with like one or two of us alive. I'll have a pretty good book on my corpse.
I mean, to be honest, it seems like there's a song in there somewhere. I'll have to work on it.
Yeah, you know, you make the song, I'll just write it down and make the documentary. It'll be great.
Seems like a good drinking song. Should get the right kind of beat to it.
Well, it's one of those things where it's just like, maybe the song needs a prelude song or something like that, because like, personally, I've never met a talking suit of armor before, and so like, you know, people will be like, the hell's an Eladrin in a talking suit of armor in the first place, and maybe get a bit confused.
Yeah. You use the creative licensing. Say like the Golem and the Fae.
Oh, the golem and the elf, right?
May I hear the song when you have finished it?
Of course, Sonny. I'll start working on it immediately.
Thank you. I
Yes,
look forward to it.
Yes. I too would like to hear it. Though I do recommend you don't make it too good. Or you might find yourself in a place you can never leave.
What, you mean like a hellhole surrounded by mist and evil monsters?
More like a Fayish court where you're constantly throwing peanuts while you're chained to a throne.
To be honest, I'm not sure which is worse right now.
Would he be able to get away with it if he, say, gave you like a 10% commission fee for being the focus of the song or something?
That depends on which Fey Lord or Eldest finds you.
Oh, I meant specifically you go like, oh yeah, I gave 10% commission fee to Aldrin and I'll be fine.
Oh.
I do not mean.
My good friend, my good, surprisingly very fleshy friend. That's not gonna work.
You're surprisingly
How's
fleshy,
that
Baxton.
surprising? Indeed, I have blood, I guess. All right. I think you bleed too. I'm confused, but
Oh no, I'm just surprised. I assumed, with the robot thing, most things were normal in the mortal world.
you
Gentlemen,
just believe. What was your take, Sonny?
I hate to interrupt this conversation, but we have arrived at our destination.
All 3 stars would use again.
I was thinking about making a similar joke, but I decided not to.
How about you rate your trip? Smiley face, not expressive, or angry face?
I love Sonny. I hope he never dies.
Well, now he's dead. You've cursed yourself. Jordan's gonna try to kill him.
Oh no. I mean,
Honestly,
I hate Sonny. Oh, so emotionless.
Man, Sonny has a lot of backstory that Jordan could just harp on and make me suffer as a player. He should totally never die, so you can cause me emotional strife. That's how you do it.
I see.
As you arrive at the church, you see a small portly man waiting at the entrance. Ismark will, seeing him, will just go, that is Father Donovan, to your party.
No,
How's
Yep.
Just a quick question. How's the church, like, the outside of it looking? Is it, like, boarded up just like the rest of the places in Barovia? We never got a description of what this place looks like.
The church is a one-story normal building. It is not boarded up, and it has a light coming from its side and a tall bell tower at the center of it. It does look like a small town church
Okay.
overall. At the top of the bell tower, you do see the holy symbol of the Morning Lord, as well as a matching symbol on the priest's robes.
yeah. Pleasure.
Gotcha.
Father Donovan, is it? Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure. Who might you be?
Name be Seamus. I new in these parts.
You're new from Valekia, I presume?
You could presume that, yeah.
He kind of squints. May you elaborate?
No, you're allowed to presume whatever you want. Who am I to tell you you're wrong?
Okay. He kind of looks past you at your gathered assembly. The look of confusion intensifies.
Oh, you're looking at my the rest of the my friends behind me. Oh, they're just a motley fun crew. Broxton, why don't you come up here and introduce yourself to the priest?
Oh, yes, okay, well, I mean, I believe our fellow priests should also introduce themselves, seeing as how, they believe they're similarly. If you want to come up as well, Sonny. Good evening, sir. I put my hand out to shake.
Good
Name's
evening.
Braxton Cromwell of the Cromwells. It is good to meet you. I hear that your church is functioning, and that is good.
I'm Father Donovan, priest of the Morning Lord, and my church is indeed functioning. as he kind of attempts to process that.
It's literally Braxton was just like he was trying to find a compliment for this man, and it's just like I assume there was like maybe some dirt on the bottom of his robes or something like that, and so he just went to, hey, this place is still operational, so there we go.
I know, but like from the priest's point of view, you just went, hello, I am Braxton of the Braxtons, and your church is doing well. And the priest
That's
is
all
like,
he could do.
yes.
It was canon. It worked. Yeah.
Sonny will step up after that shit show, and he will say, "Greetings. I am SU-N21. However, I have been given the designation of Sonny by the people around me. It is a pleasure to meet you, Father Donovan. I am also a priest of the sun god Pelor.
Pelor. I am unfamiliar.
It seems as though our gods have much overlap. I am suspecting that they are one and the same, simply called different things due to the regional differences of our respective homes. Would you mind if we talked and compared to get to the bottom of this? After, of course, your duties are over for the day.
Naturally, after the previous burgomaster has been put to rest, I will be glad to relay the tenets of my faith with you.
It shall be enlightening. It is always a comfort to speak to a fellow man of the cloth, even if it turns out that our gods are not one and the same.
He nods and kind of looks at the Eladrin in the corner.
Oh, yes. Greetings. I am Eladrin, and I must say your domicile is structurally sound. Before returning to kicking the wall.
Sunny's eyes just go red for a second and then back to yellow, and he says, Aldrin, that is incredibly disrespectful to kick a church. I request that you cease this activity.
Oh, I did not realize this. Forgive me? As Aldrin goes up to him and starts patting himself, takes out a gilded leaf and just hands it to him, and puts it in his hand and like pats and closes it and pats and it's like, yes, forgive me about that. Before walking inside.
Strange fellow.
Ah, you
As
don't
he
know the
kind of
half of it.
examines the leaf.
That's face
I am-
there.
I apologize for his behavior. He is new to this plane.
So, Ismark, if you would be so kind, and he gestures to the right of the church where Aldrin was just hanging out, and both Ismark and Irina take the coffin to the back of the church where a cemetery is, and there is a single open grave there. At which point the ceremony starts. Ismark and Irina lay the coffin in. They each say a couple of words about their departed father. Mostly in regards to his leadership and how he essentially kept the town running, and how now that he's gone, it does legitimately feel like... Well, what Ismark says is now that he's gone, he doesn't really know how to pick up the slack and continue doing what his father has been doing for so long. After that, the priest gives what Sunny you would actually make me a religion check here.
Religion, you say?
Yes.
14.
Okay. Aldrin, can you make me a stealth roll?
Okay.
Disadvantage because he is in scale.
No, this isn't like him
Oh,
stealthing. This is just I want to know something. Okay. So, with the 14, you wouldn't be able to pick on something, but it you get the feeling that there's something you're missing, but it goes beyond you. As he begins, he goes, "Farewell, illuminated one, until we meet again. We carry the sun in our hearts until then. Give us the strength to carry on until the next dawn. We greet your ally, the Moon Maiden, her silver light guiding us until then. There is always another dawn. Farewell, precious sun." And then he turns to Ismark and Irina and continues, "Your last sunset, go to the arms of the Morning Lord. Be in your eternal warm, soothing light. We will miss your leadership. We will cherish your moments. Your legacy will continue throughout, Ismark and Irina. Through them, you shall live on." And then the three of them just go for in death life. At which point, about 20 minutes in, the funeral service concludes.
While we were back there near the graveyard, basically, I'm not gonna try to like interrupt the service to go like snooping around. I'm gonna, of course, stay around respectively. But like peeking around in the corner of my eye, I'm gonna see if like any of the other graves have been like dug out and stuff. Because if there's an undead problem in town, the closest graveyard is probably a good hint. Like I'm not gonna go snooping, but if I can just notice anything.
Sure, make me an investigation. Like you're not expected to be at the service, so you can't just trail off, look around,
Woo! +3.
fail horribly.
8. Oh man, my roll is so good.
Okay, well, seems like a normal graveyard. You don't find any graves that have like been excavated from the inside out.
Right.
So at the very least, the dead aren't just straight up raising.
Yeah, that's good. That's a +1 right there.
Indeed. At which point Donovan kind of calls in two other people who, carrying shovels, proceed to bury the coffin. Ismark and Irina kind of stand there, quiet for a moment. And Ismark gestures to you, Sonny, and just goes, "My business is concluded. I shall give them some time with their father alone, if you would please."
Of course.
You mean-
I will follow Father Donovan. I'm assuming he's going back into the church.
Yes. He opens up this room, which is a small work office. And he turns to you and just goes, "Yes, what exactly would you like to know?"
I would like to understand the tenets of your god and the scriptures of your god. As I suspect, I believe that our gods may be the same one, as from what I have been described thus far, I could also be applied to Pelor.
He wonders at that for a bit and then just goes, well, the local beliefs are that there are two gods, one called the Morning Lord and his opposite called the Moon Maiden. The Morning Lord stands for renewal, prosperity, and he generally provides things against beings of the unholy persuasion. And he will kind of like give you the quote-unquote brief spiel with most of his tenants, most of which are he opens a book and just starts slightly reading to you from certain excerpts. In general, you do get that there are some similarities, but some differences as well. The Morning Lord being associated with both the sun and, in a way, rebirth and renewal. In a way that Pelor is, but isn't. It's more of a god of rebirth in a way.
Okay, so I am getting the inclination that these are separate gods.
Make me at this point it would be an advantage. Make me a advantaged religion check again.
You got it. Another 14.
Jesus. Okay. Well, what at this point, you gather that they, the Morning Lord and Pelor might have been like one god a lot of time ago. At which point, when Barovia was actually entrapped in the mist, their beliefs kind of diverged from it, and they adapted it to serve their own needs, essentially.
I believe they are the same deity, though cultural beliefs have shifted over the... I do not know how long Barovia has been in such a state, but I believe the isolation from the rest of the world has caused cultural changes. But I do believe that the origins of our gods are the same.
He thinks about that and opens up a book and answers a question to your gives you an answer to your question and just goes, according to most of our records, Barovia has been entrapped in the mist for well over 600 years now.
I see. That would certainly be a long enough time for cultural drift to occur. If you would like, I can show you my own prayer book, and I will produce it for him.
Okay. He will take the time to read it, and I will roll a religion check. And he will be worse than you. He does look it over. It is a curiosity to him, but at this point, it doesn't really serve him much purpose. So after a few minutes, he hands it back and just goes, I can see where you have drawn this conclusion from. Yes. I do not know how this will aid you in any pursuit, but
It satisfies my own curiosity, but it is comforting to know that my god's house has a place in Barovia. And you and I are, while dissimilar on the outside, our souls shine with a radiance gifted to us by our god. It is comforting. If you ever are
Make me an insight check real quick.
natural 20.
Okay. Let me just phrase this correctly. When you say our souls shine with the same radiance, he gives a response that you don't expect necessarily. Like he gives a pained response almost. But overall, you're unable to read too much of it, as I too almost rolled a nat 20.
Okay. I will continue to say, if you are in need of any assistance here, while I am also a man of the cloth, I am also a trained warrior, though I rather not raise my sword hand if unnecessary. I would be happy to assist you in manners if the opportunity presents itself. Feel free to call upon my aid.
Okay, he nods.
And before I go, I must ask, you seem to be bothered when I had said our souls shine with the same radiance. Did I offend you, sir?
He thinks on it for a brief second, and after a bit, he explains to you what a quote-unquote husk is, which in brief he explains to you that from the records of most clergy here, they believe that some people are born without what they would call the inner light, what you would understand to be essentially a soul, and that this phenomenon has kind of grown from essentially them being a rarity to a lot of them just actually being commonplace now over the span of about 150 years. Roll me a second insight.
You got it. 21.
He's being honest about that explanation, but he also kind of dodged the he kind of gave you that explanation, you feel, to dodge the directness of your first statement. He's essentially avoiding the topic.
Father Donovan, I feel as though you are trying to avoid the subject. If it is something you would be uncomfortable discussing, then I shall leave it alone. But do know that I am also a priest and you may confide in me. My oath does not allow me to tell others what you have told me, if that is what you require.
He looks at you solemnly and just shakes his head in the negative.
Very well. I apologize for making you feel uncomfortable, and I do appreciate your time. And I will reach into my bag and I will pull out a lollipop. And I will hand it to him.
And I will roll roll a second in check, as candy isn't like
It's not a thing here.
it is a thing here, but not like crystallized sugar.
Ah.
He seems baffled by it, but you get the feeling that he knows what it is. He just didn't expect to see one.
There you go. Does he take it?
Yes.
Thank you again for your time. May the light guide you.
What would the Morning Lord's thing be? Jesus. I don't know. And I have an entire page here. Probably having an entire page here is the thing that fucked me here. I pre-prepped for this and I may have over-prepped. I apologize.
If you want a generic one, peace till next dawn.
He does go with that, yes.
Sounds good.
I mean, he's the entire god about like renewal. Apparently, something about dawn helps. I guess. Mm-hmm.
Like their default one is for in death life, but that is that's more reserved for funerals and things like that.
So you should definitely use it because this is Barovia.
Indeed.
But assuming he goes until next dawn, or something along those lines, Sonny will take his leave, and he will regroup with everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. This whole time, Seamus has just literally been leaning against a church wall playing his flute.
And I'll just grab Alden as we're just walking by. No words. Just grab him by like the scruff of the collar and just bring him outside.
Okay.
Have a nice little chat there, Sonny.
It was enlightening.
Good one.
Thank you. Sorry, excuse the pun. I'd rather enjoy wordplay. Now, shall we continue on our mission? I apologize for delaying it, so...
Eventually, is Mark and Irina reconvene with you? And they lead you towards the destination you requested, which was Mad Mary's house.
Her name is Mad Mary.
Her nickname started to be Mad Mary like about 2 weeks ago. Ismark will essentially explain to you that since
her kid
since
was
the
disappearance of her child, they Seamus, people
Since
here
the-
are real dicks, you know that, hey? It's just like...
It's more of the thing that since the disappearance of her child, she has been both inconsolable, but the thing that really kind of strikes the nerve of everyone is she has been constantly wailing, almost non-stop, day and night, with very brief pauses.
Oh, I mean, so inconsiderate. Seamus just looks at these people. People ain't really big on the whole, empathy thing, sort of thing, eh? I was gonna go empathy, sympathy, so same sort of thing, eh?
Empathy. A feeling of relationship to another person based on similar experiences. Sympathy. A feeling of... A feeling of pity for someone's unfortunate circumstances.
And now explain what pity is, and let's go down this rabbit hole.
I will cease definitions from here.
Ismar kind of looks at you and just goes, well, death is a a very remarkably common thing in this town. Most people have gone almost desensitized to it.
You can see sort of thing. Well, perhaps we can get some info from Mary. If we're lucky, maybe her child's still alive.
He gives you this this look of essentially you're being way too hopeful for this.
Look, I'm not saying she is or she isn't. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
I agree that we should keep the light of hope alive, if possible. However, let us not give her a false sense of hope, given the circumstances.
I mean, to be fair, we don't really know what the circumstances are apart from the kid's gone missing.
Abduction victims' survival rates plummet after 72 hours.
It's
It
been
is-
about 2 weeks. Yeah.
It is unlikely the child still lives, though I pray for her safety.
I mean, we're assuming she's been abducted. Maybe she just ran away from home, went to go see the circus sort of thing.
Is there any circuses nearby?
I was about to ask!
Weirdly enough, Ismark will tell you that the closest thing that the closest thing to what you're asking would either be at the Tsar River Falls, next to this village, or in the Vastani encampment next to Valaki.
See, there you go. Circuses all around.
I find that hypothesis is likely very improbable, though not impossible, I suppose.
You never
Well,
grew up-
also, Gertruda hasn't been the only, kidnapping. She's just been the most recent one.
To be fair,
So-
the only child, though. It's an oddity.
What I know about kidnapping children is you need some sweet food and probably a very innocent face.
Okay, at this point, he looks between you and the robot and like, huh.
I have not personally kidnapped children, but if I must say, some members of my extended family have done that.
Is
No.
that in your legend handbook? do you just get trained in that? Like, Braxton's voice just completely what? Huh?
So you're saying it's like,
I'm
you know,
not saying that I personally do this or my people personally do. It's just a common Fey happening.
what you're
that
saying
children-
is so common in in the Fae that you kidnap children that you like literally have the like guideline plans for it, like common knowledge. Like this is how you tie your shoe, sort of thing.
I mean, didn't you grow up with your parents telling you not to go into the woods or accept food from a Fae or go into a hole or go into a white carriage with that they were saying giving out free sweets?
I have no parents, so no.
I grew up in the
Well,
slums of Baldur's Gate. If someone was giving out free sweets, you went in there, stabbed them, and took them all when you were done.
My family was rich, so we usually just had free sweets.
I believe now why we were all brought to this horrible realm. Now I'm starting to understand.
Yes,
Ismark
apparently
kinda
the
looks
devil
at your
wanted
part
it.
and just goes, "You are a curious bunch. Definitely different from the last one."
I
Is
like
that
how
a
Who was
good-
the last one?
Oh, about a year ago, a wizard dressed in black showed up in the village much in the same way you did. He did not carry a letter. He seemed to have found his own way here. After hearing about the devil's escapades, he decided to put an end to it. I do not know much about the preceding events. Some members of the village did leave with him, but overall he appears to be unsuccessful.
well, by the very fact
And-
that the vampire's still around, that's a good hint.
Yes. Wizards are quite fragile. I presume he died from a stiff wind.
I do not know. The local Vastani and Madame Eva does seem to know more about the story, as apparently she witnessed what happened at Castle Ravenloft, but she has been unwilling to share most of that story with just about anyone.
Yes. Everyone keeps coming back to Madame Eva. I suppose we
Perhaps
should see her sometime.
indeed, but I believe that time is not now, as we have other tasks in front of us.
Hey, let's go meet this
Yes.
Mary and sort this thing out.
Yes. Let's find a human infant, and hopefully, for them, they are not dead.
I mean,
If
I
they're
think it's a
dead,
child there, not an infant. There's a difference, you
Yeah.
know.
honestly, to my people, you're barely an adult. I would consider you a child at most.
Oh,
Um,
that's great. I can see you're quite the ass yourself.
I never
Just
said I wasn't a child to my people. I just said you would be considered one as well.
Whatever.
So we
Anyways,
can literally call ourselves the bad kids or something like that. We're just a group of sassy children.
Seamus, I do not believe there is any point in having this discussion.
just for the sake of, well, at this point, you presumably not tormenting Mary more than I presumed you already will. And he kind of looks at the ground and just goes, Gertruda was about 16, turning 17 this winter.
that's not exactly a kid now, is it?
Yes. That would be very much considered not child kidnapping, but
Yes,
woman
but
kidnapping.
she is the youngest victim by far.
Oh, I getcha.
And
So,
and the the local custom is that one is a child until certain conditions. Kind of looks at the Eladrin.
What? Like, you mean like when Eladrins kidnap him? He's just like guessing.
I say we don't kidnap them. We just very much manipulate them into thinking they want to come with us. That's two very different things.
Let's agree to
Aldrin,
disagree.
Aldrin, if I am to be completely honest, it sounds like your people would be what we would designate as immoral.
We are not immoral. We have a very sense of our own laws and judgment and behavior. It's not our fault. Most mortals just disagree.
So, you're
I mean, if
saying
you-
it's alright to do whatever you want to another person as long as you all agree it's okay?
Yes, you just described the Fae.
Ah! Hey, Sonny, remind me never to really get involved with the Fae.
I will make a note of this, as I wish also not to be involved with the Fae.
Hey, Sunny, would you like to remind your compatriots that he is currently involved with the Fae, and that he just told you to, you know?
Yes.
Seamus, I must inform you, though, that you are currently involved with a Fae.
I kind of meant in the more unnecessarily like forced into it sort of way.
Ah, I see. I will make a note of that.
I mean, there's, of course, shades of Fae. I mean,
Shades
silly
of Fae,
Fae.
Jesus Christ.
Seamus begins being kidnapped by an elven court, and Sunny just stops in one place and does go, Seamus, you are currently being kidnapped by the Eladrin. You have specifically told me to remind you that you do not wish this to happen.
50 Shades of Fae.
Anyway,
50 Shades of Fae.
anyway,
So,
let us make our way over to this Mary, so that we may speak to her about her missing child.
Yeah,
you
right.
roll me a d10 again, just for the travel.
You
on the
got
way
it!
back.
Suddenly, carriage.
10!
Now it's Lestrade.
Not le. There's no le. It's not French. It's not the French Empire.
Oh, bonjour, bonjour.
Bonjour, I'm
Let's try.
the master of Barovia. It is good to meet.
You jest, but
Oh,
Oh, no.
God.
Guys, I am the best at rolling d10s.
Nine, you get
Okay.
his right back.
let me just check something real quick.
What would a 1 be? We just come
So,
home.
so I did
random-
mention 3 times already that we shouldn't let the robot roll.
Hey, this is why
Well,
you should.
you know, Transformers roll out, I guess.
Okay,
I
and
would've-
now let me roll something real quick.
Oh boy.
What would an Optimus Prime Warforge be?
He wouldn't have advantage on this by any chance, would he? Wouldn't. Shit. Okay, so
Oh, good.
for everyone, everything is perfectly normal. Seamus, you get the distinct feeling that someone is watching you. You can't place it where, but you're currently being observed.
I don't want to alarm anybody, but I have a strange feeling we're all being watched right now.
Can I cast Divine Sense again?
Please do so.
Can I look around?
Yes, and please mark it. I need to check something.
I love how Divine Sense has Strahd von Zarevich listed.
Feet, yeah, 60 feet. That is
What
not
you-
behind total cover hit theoretic. Okay. No, you don't sense anything.
Oh man, all the undead left the houses?
Apart from that.
Not to mention the little blip he gets from me and you.
Yes.
Braxton is an undead. Oh fuck.
Celestial.
Well,
You know,
he's less of a ping and more of like some fuzzy shit that you like tap the screen and it disappears. It's weird.
That's why I said blip. We're blips.
Oh, fair.
I like
Can
how
I look around to see if I can find what he's talking about?
Make me an active perception.
Why
Can
did
we all
I
do
ask?
that as well? Like,
I mean,
also
I was the one
looking-
who noticed. I'd probably be looking.
Sure, we'll all look around with our eyes, and I'll get lower than all of them. See, look, I fucking called it.
Wow,
Chat.
1860.
Wow. Wow, our elf eyes suck.
Why did no one roll a 17, guys? Jesus, hold on.
I rolled.
The robot rolled
I
an
rolled.
18.
Yeah, I
We're
rolled
about
an 18.
18.
No, that's why he's asking those 17. We would have rolled 18, 17, 16, 15, 14.
God damn it.
No,
No,
it's,
it's really
it's
hoping
in
on this.
13, 14 though. We're
No,
still in.
dude. Wait, no, Arena still exists.
Thank God.
Does Arena have a stat block?
Yep, hold on.
Can we get that 17?
All right, 17 or 12. 17 or 12. We're
Let's
looking
get that-
for a straight.
They want straight. We need a 17 for a
Yeah,
straight. Come on,
straight.
straight. Let's go for a
No.
straight. We need that 17.
Yes! Shit. Okay.
Wait, we didn't see it.
I'll copy paste.
We got it! Yeah, we got a straight.
We get-
Did we all get hit by like a mist that slowly dissipates more and more away from us?
No, but this is amazing. I enjoy this.
Oh, and
we
Strahd von
get
Zarevich
inspiration
kills
for
you
this?
all. Did you know?
Do we get inspiration for this?
No.
No.
Okay.
Can
Okay,
Arena
so-
get inspiration for this?
No.
She completed the straight.
Neat, but inspiration in Strahd is something that you actually get, like it's an actual mechanic,
Oh, fair
Ah,
enough.
okay.
as demonstrated by Death House.
Ah,
Inspiration can be also given by the DM at any time.
No.
Yes, it can.
Anyways, back to the game. What do we notice with our straight?
Okay, so who rolled above it?
I hope I'm the only one who notices.
So, both Braxton, Seamus, and Sunny, and Irina would, you notice a figure in the far distance on a rooftop, just observing you. As soon as you, like, turn to it, it vanishes.
Oh, I was gonna wave.
Well,
As Jordan managed to roll a fucking nat 1 on a character that had plus 13 to stealth.
Oh my god.
that's why I caught him, because of my passive. I gotcha.
It's probably he probably accidentally like kicked a roof tile, and so we were able to hear it or something. You know, not
I
one
will-
funny biz.
Sunny will just wave in that direction and just say, hello.
Well, the fact of the matter is we all discovered an interesting person spying on us. Is that sort of normal thing around here?
Irina kind of looks pale.
I imagine
Um,
you understand that there's something going on there.
Ismar kind of looks bewildered. As he did not succeed.
Miss Irene, you mind telling me who that was?
I wouldn't like to hazard a guess.
Was that,
Well,
Tell
was
you
that
what.
potentially the devil, as you put it?
Hold up. She doesn't have to say. I will message her so she doesn't have to say it out loud. Would you be more comfortable if nobody could hear it but me?
She responds with the body the body shape and the posture does match. I couldn't get a good look at him.
So you suspect it might be the devil.
well, she used the message spell, so we didn't hear that.
Yeah, I use the message spell.
Ah, okay.
So, because that was the key. That was the point, was to make her talk. So, I see. So you think, Seamus is gonna turn to our God damn it,
Braxton.
Ismark, and he's got a minor illusion what he saw on the rooftop in his hand. Do you recognize what this guy might be?
Okay. The siblings' look now starts matching. And he just gives a brief nod.
I see. Is this some sort of person we shouldn't be speaking about because his name's kind of cursed?
He nods again.
So we admit the robot should never roll again.
What are you talking about? This is great.
Christ. First the carriage of death and then the Strahd himself. This is fantastic. But-
Listen, this is interesting. I suggest I keep it rolling.
On that fucking D10 table, by the way, just as a casual DM note, right? So I had a D8 table, and I went, fuck it, I'll put 2 things extra in here. Chances of them getting it, slim to none. Chances of them noticing
literally 1
it,
in 10.
even less.
Even less. I got
So we
both.
got the 2 big bads of the entire campaign just show up like in session 2.
One
Why-
after the
why do you
other.
Why do you assume Rohedin's? There's a reason why. There's a reason, knowing what you know now, there's a reason why I went. So who's passing the carriage? Because as the carriage passed, the fucking Warforged might have went divine sense, and I would have needed to describe a couple of things.
Ah,
Oh, God.
damn. I'll be sure to do it next time.
It's a little late for that, I'm sure.
No, you gotta roll another. You have to roll another 9 now. That's it.
No, guys, leave it to me.
In any case,
You know, You know what? We may just well keep doing what we were doing and like, hey, we totally didn't notice him or whatever, and just feign ignorance. I think that's the best thing we could possibly do right now.
I mean, the fact
I-
that we all looked straight at him and he disappeared probably didn't tip him off in the slightest.
Exactly.
I also-
I
also
honestly
proceeded
do not know
way
what
back.
you guys are speaking of. I did not see anything.
Way to go,
Oh,
Eagle Eye.
Perfect. No, he's doing. Aldrin's fallen by course. You know what? Good job, Aldrin. That's what we need to say.
I am honestly confused what you mean. I literally did not see anything. I believe you all have
Perfect. You're doing
gotten...
an awesome job.
Aldrin turns to the Warforged and says, "Are all humans this insane?"
I believe it is simply because they are scared.
Of what? The air?
No, of the devil.
Ah, Strahd von Zerv.
He just slaps him in the...
God damn it!
What did we just say? What did we just say? We're not supposed to speak his name.
He's
I
not
look around
God.
again to see if he popped his head back around a fucking corner, like a fucking groundhog popping his head off the rooftop again. Jesus, dude.
What? He's not a god. He's a vampire.
Look, all I'm
throw some
saying is
sunlight
that
at
he looks at the mist covering the sky. It's a bit
We're
short
all
of supply, don't you think?
Then get some salt or go into a house and say he can't come in.
And if he burns the house down?
Then go into another house and say he can't come in. One made of stone.
And if he blows it up?
Then it's just you're just dead and just live life as you want.
We'd be dead. How could we live?
Oh, you guys don't return to the Feywild just randomly? Oh,
No,
okay.
we don't return
That's
to the
your problem,
Feywild.
then.
To be honest, I assure you will in this place. This place seems like pretty awful to me.
You live in your life. That's what I say. That is the silly way of just, I don't know, do whatever you want and live and die, whatever. Meh. And Aldrin just walks off saying,
You don't want to
Just
talk
for
to
the fun
Mary.
of it. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Strahd just shows up.
Even if you guys rolled really well on your passive perception, you would not know the answer to whether just Strahd turned the corner and went, wait, did they? They did.
I will look at is it clear that Ismark and Irene seem distressed at the moment?
Yes, the both of them have kind of trotted step a bit and are now in an active hurry.
Oh, so are we.
I will go up to them real quick and say, and just go to my bag and say, have a lollipop.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I never knew where he got the lollipops from in the movie.
At this point, neither one accepts it, as they're slightly more focused on what you presume is getting rid of you four suicidal cunts.
No kidding. I don't blame
Aldrin-
them.
Aldrin quickly yoinks the lollipop singing fall. If no one's gonna take it,
Oh,
I would have saved it.
for in any case, let's head over to Mary's and hopefully, things don't get much worse, because things are getting pretty bad.
I mean, we just saw a
So-
single carriage and then maybe a mist-covered being on the roof.
There's no
Honestly-
maybe about it.
I didn't see it. The lecture guy here didn't see it.
And the four of us saw it. That's more for than against.
Meh. I didn't see it, so I don't believe it.
That is a very flawed ideology.
Meh. It's your ideology. I say, if I don't see it, I don't believe it.
Negative. That is your ideology.
As Ismark stops in front of a house, knocks at the door and just goes, this is the residence of Mary. Please be kind.
Aldrin,
Yes.
I would humbly ask that you do not talk during this proceeding.
I say, I am quite a respected individual. I've been trained for thousands of years in noble art of diplomacy and persuasive arguments in the courts of Kandor.
Great, just
I-
don't try to hit on the widow.
I do,
Hey.
however, would like to point out that you are unfamiliar with the concept of death or mourning, and thus are ill-equipped to handle such a situation. I am merely advising that you simply observe for your first time interacting with someone who is going through such grief.
I suppose. Yes, let's fine, whatever. Let's
So Braxton will whisper to Aldrin, "Hey, you should probably just not say the guy's name. Like literally, it has a curse thing where he can like look upon us or something. Like
How about
it's
this?
less of a god sort of thing, more of a don't give the guy more information about us."
How about
Can I-
this?
can
If
I-
you need to refer to him, why don't we just call him Stooge von Douchebag? Then no, everybody's happy, right?
Can I roll like something to figure out if this whole like saying his name actually makes him look thing is real?
Are you proficient in Arcana?
I am because I'm an arcane archer.
Go for it.
Braxton will assist you because he is also proficient in Arcana.
I rolled a 20
will-
anyways.
I
Oh.
will look at Seamus and I will say, with all due respect, Seamus, I do not believe it is nice to call someone by that.
I mean, to be fair, he's not a very nice person, so, fair turn.
I still believe that it is better to show respect so that he may perhaps learn of it from us.
With a 20, you are roughly aware of the limitation of scrying spells. So if it's true, it's not any form of known scrying, but gathering the fact that the mist does indeed have creatures and is actively or passively controlled, there might, and is essentially enveloping the entire zone that you've traversed so far. It might be a byproduct of the mist you gather.
Well, okay.
How much of it is true, even you don't know, but it's not impossible given what you've seen so far.
Aldrin, looking around himself, simply turns around and says to the group, "Well, if you want to say his name, just get away from the mist. It seems he obviously is controlling the mist and not some all-seeing thing."
Let's just not say the name. It's just not that hard.
We'll come to it as we come to it, I think. But yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, at this point, the door opens and a brown-haired, black-eyed woman just stares at the four of you.
Ah, evening, ma'am.
Good day.
May we come in?
Why?
Exactly. This might be a bit of a touchy subject, but we were here hoping to ask you some questions about your, missing daughter. We're hoping to find her, or at least those that took her.
Okay, mentioning that, she opens the door and gestures for you to come in. At which point you see a very disheveled-looking room.
May I pop a divine sense when we enter the house?
Yes.
Such a last one.
Now I got one more.
Okay.
You don't spot any undead in this house in particular. Neither any of the other types of things that you can search for.
Okay.
It appears to be, well, divine sense plus your passive perception. It appears that she's alone here.
Very well. Thank you for allowing us to speak with you. We know this must be difficult.
She nods.
Can you tell us of anything that has to do with your daughter before she disappeared? Was she acting strangely in any way?
I mean, it might be better off to start with the last time we saw her.
On the morn about 2 weeks ago.
She was by herself, are you aware? Or is anybody around her near?
She went to bed at night, and I couldn't find her at dawn.
I see. So she was in her bed the last you saw her, and then disappeared over the night.
She nods.
Has anybody been up and checked out the room yet?
Some of the burgomaster's men. They couldn't find much of interest. They chucked it up to the person that's been kidnapping folks.
No sign of a forced entry then.
She shakes her head. They didn't seem to find any.
If it is alright, after we are done conversing with you, may we please take a look in your daughter's room?
She nods and kind of leads you upstairs.
Much appreciated, Matt. Braxton, we're gonna need your eye.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll see what I can do up there.
Sure. Roll me an investigation check.
And before you
Gonna
do,
be bad.
oh well, never mind.
Hey, the one thing my character's supposed to be good at is nat 1s and 3s and 4s.
Okay then.
So Braxton, you think you might have put the beer that flask of whiskey down before you start searching?
No, I'm just really interested on the underneath of this bed. Do you see this floor? It's very fantastic.
Okay.
What is that, cedar?
Is this like some kind of balsa wood?
Okay. Well, with Braxton so distracted, I'll allow one more of you to roll an investigation.
Well, seeing as though my people have a certain knack of just taking people and not giving them back,
How vocal are you about this? You're not seeing this in character, right?
actually, since he's in his spring form and is much in which he's basically an elf frat boy, I'm gonna say this in character. Well, seeing as though my people have a knack of just taking people and not giving them back, let me have a look around.
Oh, for the love of it! Hey,
Go
ahead.
Sunny will do the equivalent of a face palm.
Yeah, you just see that Seamus is rubbing his temples. It's like, we're never going to find this kid. We're never going to find this kid.
Give me 7 hours and I might change my opinion or personality.
Okay, so the two junior investigators find nothing.
I
I
would
never said I was Nancy Drew.
I would specifically like to go look at the window and search for any sort of signs of forced entry or perhaps scratch marks or anything that might indicate if someone used it to get in or out of the house.
Okay, I'll allow that. Roll me an investigation. Please get a 6.
She's another straight coming.
What is our rolls today?
Oh,
9!
no.
Still better
But
than
if you
most
flip
of
it
the party!
upside down, if you flip it upside down, it's a 6. Ooh.
I swear Jordan's somehow doing this.
Okay, so fucking A. The window's intact at the very least. The hinges are there. It's been closed since.
Does your daughter sleep with the window open?
Mad Mary kind of looks at you and just goes, no one sleeps with open windows. She kind of says that as a statement of fact.
Then was the window open when you came up here and found her missing?
Huh. What the fuck?
As you
Okay. She shakes her head in the negative. It was closed and locked.
Well then, that either means we have
From
the
the
oddest
inside.
thief that ever existed, or your daughter didn't come out the window, but rather probably led through the front door.
Did your daughter mention going anywhere before or speaking to anyone the night before she disappeared?
Hmm.
Or perhaps the weeks leading up to it.
She describes a couple of villagers, but no one in particular. Like essentially just her normal kind of like hangout group, essentially.
I'm assuming the
Did she know-
burgomaster and his men interviewed her friends about this sort of thing too.
She doesn't know, so she just shrugs.
Well, you might give us the name of her friends. Maybe we should have a chat with them as well.
Village of Barovia. Okay. She gives you the name of two boys. One called Petrovich, the other one called Nikolai. And she more or less describes them as like local boys. Also gives what is essentially her best friend a child named Elin, about 15 years old, lives across the street. Overall, you get the feeling that probably wasn't any of them.
I don't think it was. That's not what the question was about. It's like they might have seen something the mother didn't. Like,
considering the events in question, you gather that it would have been hard for them to see anything. As in, you gather. You know what? Can two of you pick which ones? Roll me an int check at this point.
Straw flat
have a
in, I'll
plus-
take it. I got a +1. We're the smartest players with +1s.
I got a 0, so go on ahead.
Jeez. Hey! You finally rolled good, Braxton.
Okay, so Braxton, you finish examining the lovely antique wooden floors, and something kind of snaps at you, and you realize that this might be less of a kidnapping and more of
Her leaving.
a case of a person running away.
Yeah.
Exactly. Run to the circus. Mark, guess who got it in one?
But she ran away in the middle of the night in a town that's cursed. And no one found her the next morning, so she probably wasn't in town itself. Did she literally leave the town in the middle of the fucking night?
That's obviously what happened.
What an insane... She's most likely fucking dead.
I actually, Aldrin gets up from the bed that he assumed was just lying on, looking up to the ceiling, and asks the lesser, as he continues to call him,
Both Ismark and Irina have kind of taken a
Oh.
stage right as soon as Gertrude opened the door. Like, they kind of briefly nodded at you guys. Not Gertrude. Mary acknowledged, and then they just whooshed out.
I don't
Okay,
blame
then,
him.
he then he turns to Mary and looks at her and asks, "Has there has I don't know this village well, but has there been a place of, I don't know, myth or stories of dread of never shouldn't going there, or particular fear?"
Um, she thinks and the only answer she's capable of giving you is that on less misty nights, one can actually see Castle Ravenloft from here. But that is like as close to a cursed place that this village has.
So tell me, is there like anything your daughter used to talk about wanting to see in her life? Like maybe she had a wanderlust to go see next town over or some sort of thing?
Jesus, that felt far. She gives you the standard parent speech of like, you know how teenagers get at a certain age, where they kind of keep to themselves.
I see. Maybe her friends might know something about it then. I think we're going close to
Perhaps,
it. Oh,
perhaps she has a journal around here somewhere.
you mean a diary?
That would also be equivalent, yes.
Journals are fairly expensive. I would have known if she had such thing, and
It's fair enough.
from
Probably
my
not then.
knowledge, she did not.
And if Detective Braxton didn't find anything, I'm imagining there ain't one here.
That is.
Oh, don't give me a title. Like, I mean,
suppose
I have my moments, but like, I will never take up the mantle.
Detective Braxton.
Ah, don't worry, Braxton. I'm sure.
Detective Broxton Cromwell at your service.
Sonny will look at Mary and say, "Do you besides her friend who lives across the street, do you happen to know any of her other acquaintances?"
Yeah, she gave us the other two names already.
No, I'm sorry, and where they may be located.
Yeah, she describes a couple of houses nearby.
Thank you very much. Well,
At which point she kind of stops and goes, I told this to the burgomaster's men, but they didn't seem to pay much attention. About a month ago, I saw a figure dragging another figure in the den of night, going in a northerly direction. I could not make out much, but
Well, I think that's a lead at least. Thank you very much, and Seamus will just take her hand and pat it. Goes, don't you worry. We'll do everything we can to see what we can do to find her and bring you some closure.
if I may inquire, do you know of any landmarks north of where you saw this event?
well, you are currently here.
Where was that?
Drawing. Hold on. Selecting color.
I see.
And she saw a figure going in this direction.
So towards the church.
Essentially.
Or the tavern.
Or the tavern.
The tavern's this, right?
Yes.
What's that house?
You would not know.
How to ask her, is there any particular place she wanted to sneak off to at night, or hidey hole she had? a sort of sanctuary.
Hold on. She kind of shrugs and just says, we don't have a sanctuary per se. Most Peruvians stick to them to their own in-group. We do not speak to strangers often.
Hmm.
To be honest, I think
Very
our
well.
best bet is to find Ellen, and she'll probably be able to give us a bit more info.
Or
I-
we can look around for his drag marks and such, or see if they're headed north of here, they either left town or they were bringing it somewhere else. So maybe we can ask the priest or something.
I mean, to be
Or
fair,
bartenders.
look, yeah, I agree with you at the tavern and asking people, but we're not going to find drag marks. That was a month ago.
I concur
Well-
with Seamus.
There's been a good amount of disappearances, and if people are being dragged around and stuff, maybe we can find some vestiges of it.
It would seem unlikely that we would find such things, given the fact that these roads are traveled, and searching the entire town would be inefficient.
In any
Yeah.
case, I think we should be heading over to the next house over. Thank you very much, Marion. Like I said, we'll do what we can.
She nods and escorts you out.
Okay, when she's out of
What-
earshot, I'm just going to turn and goes, so anybody else thinking that we're not looking in the same sort of thing here? That this isn't exactly a missing person and more of a runaway?
It is a distinct possibility, though we should keep open to all solutions. Either way, we are tracking someone, and whether that is a killer or a runaway, we are doing good either way.
It's a runaway. All signs point to running away. Like, either someone came into the house and like completely fixed everything and made it seem all different, but this person, maybe she ran out of the house and then got killed or something. But she left the house on her own accord.
Well, there's only one other option. And we'll have to ask someone else about how these other disappearances had, but I know for a fact, being one of the masteries of the arcane, that there are sorts of magics that can make someone go, funny in the head and do things.
Yes, I believe that's called enchantment.
Well, exactly. She might have been enchanted and just left the house on her own accord that way.
A distinct possibility.
Did she happen to know any of the other people that disappeared before?
I mean, she was the youngest, so probably not. Or at least not well.
You never know. Always look at the connections.
Well, I suppose we can ask Ellie when we meet her.
Yes, I'm sorry, I blinked out like half of your conversation. Who's this Ellie?
Ellen, I guess. Ellen's Gertrude's best friend. Next door
She lives
neighbor.
across
Who's Gertrude?
Gertrude's the girl
Gertrude
we're
is
looking
the
for.
child. The 60-year-old child that you're an expert in kidnapping.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, Aldrin's job is to like snatch him and leave him. He's not required to know anything about them.
Yeah.
He's just a delivery guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He doesn't need to make small talk, ask their name or anything. He just grabs and goes.
Yeah. I'm lesser nobility. I'm not like the true nobility. I'm not
You know
high
what?
nobility,
I'm
which
just gonna say
keeps-
Seamus walks up to Sonny and goes, by the way, Sonny, keep an eye on Aldrin. I'm a little worried he might be, a bit too snatchy of children. Make sure he doesn't do anything out of the ordinary.
I have already considered such
Hey, I don't do anything bad with children. I just teach them to become warrior servants of the Eladrin people.
Hey,
And
I look at Seamus and I say, do not worry. I have already considered such possibilities and are prepared to take action if such things arise.
Good on you, Sonny. Good on you.
Eldrin, if you ever find a kid who like has a striking like complexion to me or like looks very similar, if you could just like leave that one alone, I'd be very appreciative.
Are you saying you got a kid running around, Braxton?
I'm not
that's a
completely sure.
liability.
It's like I meet a lot of people that say that they're my kid, and then it's just like it's easier to pay them off than to go like, oh hey, bring him to the magical clergy DNA test.
Braxton, I believe you have what is called a very very shaky dating preferences if you're having that many kids.
I'm just gonna ask.
It's not a common occurrence. I'm just saying that if I survive this and have a kid, because Algin will live longer, I don't want Algin to kidnap them.
That's a fair factor. In any case, let's head over to the children we're not planning to kidnap and have a discussion with.
60 years in the future, Strahd dead. Everyone lived a happy life. Aldrin just spots a kid, goes like, "Oh hey, you look remarkably like a friend of mine." Really? Who? Yeah, named Braxton. Oh yes, that's my grandpapa. And Aldrin just goes, "Oh, that's neat. So he's your grandpapa." Does this bag smell like chloroform to you?
I mean, I won't do anything bad. I'll just turn them into a sort of servant, and they gain immortality, so that's an upside. But they can never leave, and they're always thinking they're just really shitty Eladrin, and are always treated badly.
Sunny's eyes.
This
Sunny's
sounds
eyes
like the
flicker.
worst version of Peter Pan ever.
Yeah. Sunny's eyes
I mean,
flicker red.
Peter was one of those people that escaped, but that doesn't happen that often.
Sunny's eyes, like throughout this conversation, you saying all that, just flicker red for a moment, and then back to yellow, and says, "Aldrin, I would prefer if we cease this conversation now."
Oh, let's pick this up at another time. I say let's say in 20 years.
I would prefer longer if I were to be forthright with you all.
Oh, come on, Sonny. Once they're all dead and in the earth, it's only gonna be me and you.
I do not like that thought, and thus will not think about it for now.
Oh, come on. We'll probably meet more people. So now, Sonny, don't worry. We'll make more friends, and it won't ever just be you and Algin. Don't worry.
What Sonny's worst nightmare? Everyone's dead except him and Aldrin for all eternity.
I think at that point, Sonny would break his vows. By the way, I have to take a piss. I will be back in a minute.
Yeah.
Should we just take a 5-minute at this point?
Sure.
Okay.
You guys gotta wait till you meet Aldrin's summer phase. That's gonna be fun.
Jesus.
Jordan, if you want Braxton to have a child, just say so. Eric doesn't care.
I mean, to be fair, I was about to ask you, how
It's your
old is
character.
Braxton again?
Old
I'll
enough.
be right back as well.
Old enough?
Mm-hmm.
Because Seamus is only in his 20s.
Oh, Braxton's like 35.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
all
check.
right,
Yeah.
Braxton's-
The picture could be he could be in his 40s or 50s. I wasn't sure.
No. The picture, he looks that way. He looks that way mostly because we're in Barovia, so everything looks shittier. And, he is cursed.
Fair enough.
So, how do you guys so far like the character? I'm trying to.
Or Aldrin, I think he's
It's-
fun. He's insane, but he's fun. Just
Look,
Yeah, that's
it's-
yeah, that's what I'm going for. Like, a Spring is an insane frat boy. Summer is going to be a very, very angry elf,
oh, good,
and like the normal one is Autumn, and just super depressed emo is Winter.
nice. No, I think everybody's characters are great. This is a fun party. How you guys like?
Yeah.
I guess I should ask for fairness too. How you guys liking Seamus's thing?
I like his voice of reason, and surprisingly, the most insane voice of reason there is. How do you like the straight man who is also as weird as everyone else?
Yeah. Well, he's meant to be an ass, like he's a semi-ass because of his whole upbringing and being an urchin, right? So he's like, what the fuck's wrong with you people?
Yeah, no, I like him. It's we're getting used to these characters, and so we're doing a lot of party role playing and stuff like that. And so I think we're dragging this module to fucking molasses, but I'm happy with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, we're feeling each other out as personalities.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
sh-
think there's one character that's similar in this whole party as far as personality goes.
I am back.
Yeah, Michael.
it's yeah, no.
Like,
I also
Um,
kind of like the economy of Aldrin and Sunny.
yes.
yeah.
Like
We're
they're both kind of similar out of like they're both like out of like total different planes, but they're so very much different from
no,
one another.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
Like Sonny and Seamus are kind of like moral, straight, reasonable people. Sure, Sonny has some bouts, but I'm sure Seamus will too when he gets a chance to shine. Aldrin and Braxton have the shared connection of being fucking rich early and like not having to worry about shit. Aldrin and Sonny have their back and forth, which is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, Braxton and Seamus have like human-ish sort of just the regular folks who can walk around and not get weird look ats.
well,
And
they're also both Boulder Gate. Like, we're from the same plane with Baldur's Gate, or Baldur's Gate and everything too. So
yeah, we're both from fucking like Forgotten
realms,
Realms.
yeah.
And I don't think Braxton and Sunny have something particular yet, other than like focusing in on one thing, either like religion or like, oh god, that wood looks good, or like artifacts or something. You know what I mean? Having a specific this item or concept is a lot of fun.
Honestly, Sonny likes Braxton right now. He likes Braxton and Seamus.
I think everyone likes each other, and everyone's just like, Aldrin's a bit.
Okay,
But that's the point of the character.
yeah, that's the case. Like,
Yeah,
he's supposed to be
Aldrin is meant to be like
disliked.
You
Yeah.
shouldn't really like Aldrin.
Yeah, Seamus looks at Aldrin and goes, "You are everything I remember as a child and hated growing up."
Aldrin is an extraplanar rich frat boy with a trust fund.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm just as soon as our party, like, I think our party's like not even fully set. We're feeling out the characters. As soon as we like make contact with something that'll fucking like one of our friends die, or like we get into our first combat and it goes nuts or something. That's when like our characters may be a little less crazy.
Well, I mean, I think once we have a chance to shine in combat, because that's always a big party bonding moment generally, because your
Mhm.
lives are on the line, right? Providing one of the party members doesn't flee in terror.
Right.
Yeah, no, like I think right now it's like Sonny's like, I will defend Braxton and Seamus, and if I must, I will kill Aldrin.
We'll kill
If
Aldrin.
you can catch Aldrin. I mean, if you can catch Aldrin, it's like.
But also I'm realizing more and more as we play, I accidentally made Baymax.
Pretty much.
You did, and it's great.
Oh, 100%.
You made religious Baymax.
Yes.
Dude,
No,
Yeah.
just take a picture of Baymax and put a Pope hat on him, and then boom, you're done.
Also, Sonny's a paladin, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, not a cleric.
We have a bard, a paladin, a bard multi-class, a paladin, a blood hunter, and a fighter. So we've got 3 basically fighters with different flavors.
We all have martial classes, essentially.
I mean, yeah, because
Except
I'm a
the
hexblade. Huh?
Yeah, Hexblade is basically just warlock trying to be martial.
It's the closer martial, but I'm mostly bard after this, so I dipped into a martial to be proficient in combat.
Here's my theory of what's gonna happen is we're gonna get ambushed, Aldrin's gonna be in the back, and then we're gonna be forced to retreat and leave Aldrin behind, and that's how he dies.
I have face step in a bunch of high
No,
defensive
what's gonna happen is Sonny and Braxton are gonna go front lines. Seamus is gonna go mid lines and kind of support, or go into front lines to be a bit more martial, just in case. And then 3 fucking dreadlords will appear behind us, and then Aldrin will be the first thing they attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could also I know it's gonna be mean, but I could just face step someone into the combat in front of me.
Oh,
And just
you
disappear.
can just switch places if you needed to.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'm in spring form right now. I could just switch places with someone.
Triple purple worms appear behind the party. Hey DM, how is this a part of Curse of Strahd? DM, well, they're vampire purple worms. Aha!
And they specifically hunger for Fey flesh.
Well, this is a house that I didn't let them in, and then they all combust, and DM's like, fuck.
Good
and
thing I took the blindless arrow and just go stealth archer like Skyrim.
in any case, Jordan, if you're ready to get going again.
Yep. So, as your party exits the house, and you are pointed to Ellen's domicile, Sunny, you remember that place is having a distinct undead presence on your way there, or on your way to the Burgomaster, and the house is indeed boarded up.
Well, that's a
It
bit.
seems as though they have been afflicted with this undead disease.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, there's still a plague
Let's go
going
back-
on, guys. Remember that?
huh? Who
Hey
wants to go
man,
back to
I
that,
can't be diseased. It's not my problem.
Well, I suppose our next bet is then to go to the boys, but anybody think they're dead too?
It is a
Hey, Jordan,
Yes.
there's a well right there, and we probably saw it while we were looking around this house, because this house is connected to the well, Mary's house, right?
Hold on.
Like this circle here looks like a well kind of thing, right? Like this circle in between all these houses.
Yes.
And Sunny got a lot of fucking pings from here.
Indeed.
And then there's the nearby well and a disease. Can we go
Indeed.
look at the well?
Yes.
God,
I know this isn't the disappearing person thing, but while we're in the area,
Detective Braxton, do you have an idea?
yeah, so a lot of dead people around here, and there's a well nearby, and a good way to transmit disease is by, poisoning or like putting it in the well because everyone needs to drink water. So, maybe I'm crazy, but I think there may be a connection there.
Sure, why not? We're
Everyone
here.
Drink ale. I
Well,
thought this was the medieval era, where everyone drank ale and wine.
You
A
do.
lot of people do, yes.
you do realize a lot of that is still made with water, right?
Actually,
I'm too rich to care.
interesting point of order. During cholera outbreaks in London, places that made beer and often served it to their workers would actually be spared of the cholera outbreak because of the treatment of the alcohol.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
But yes, indeed, you can go to the well,
Okay,
and it appears to be a normal village well, about 400 feet deep.
well, it's a bit deep to
with
go
a-
look.
Well, this is a pretty sweet well.
I throw Braxton in a well for that pun.
And I die, because it's the thing turning people to zombies, most likely.
I thought you
No.
were liking.
And then that confirms my suspicions that Aldrin is evil and I must now smite him.
And then we just do
I'm
a
not
party
evil,
wipe.
Seamus just
Evil,
stands
not
there going,
neutral.
"What the hell just happened here?"
Okay, in all seriousness, what part of that does happen and what part of that does not?
None of it.
None of it.
I didn't
Seamus,
say it in
Seamus will look.
Braxton's voice.
Seamus will look down the well. I'm assuming we cannot see the bottom.
Yep.
Seamus will grab a rock, cast light on it, and drop it down the well.
Yep. You see the well opening up into a small cavern-like thing,
Oh.
and everyone roll me perception.
22. Finally got a fucking good perception.
My perception continues to be as amazing as it always is.
Don't elves have advantage on? No.
Yeah, I have an advantage in perception because I took it and I steal this garbage.
You didn't roll with advantage.
Oh, well, what is it?
Just rolled again.
I mean, it's better. It still fails. However, Shaman, Braxton, the both of you kind of see something stirring down there. You can't actually make it out, but there were more ripples than there should have been from what the both of you gathered.
Hey,
Well, it looks like there's something down the well.
hey, why don't you put a light on one of my arrows? And
I mean, if you insist, I'll cast light on his arrow.
I'd like to aim at where those ripples were
Okay,
and like shoot at it.
go for it. I mean, you hit the general vicinity.
And what do my elf see?
At this point, I'm kind of taking the original perception checks as canon. So, again, most of you can swear that there's more stirring than that should have created.
So my guess is there's
Um,
something living in the well.
Perhaps, perhaps there is a underground cavern somewhere that we can access.
Such as a crypt, maybe.
Oh, why don't we just use the water bucket that most winners come with and see what we pull up before anyone goes jumping in a well?
I mean, to be
This-
fair, with the water bucket, I think all we're going to pull up is water.
I have alchemy
also thought-
supplies. I can test the water.
Ooh.
You really
Let's
are
do that.
Detective Braxton.
He's Sherlock Braxton. I thought this was a pretty obvious.
Yeah.
No. If I wanted to be Sherlock or Detective Braxton, I'd be Inquisitor Rogue. Okay.
When
Okay.
Braxton dies, just bring in another Braxton, but he's an inquisitive rogue. And we're
Yeah,
like,
it's Maxton, Braxton's brother, who was a successful detective.
Oh, I say.
Yes, indeed.
Have you seen my twin brother? He was missing here in this. I've been stretching him down and found to this place of Barovia.
Mhm.
Indubitably.
So, I mean, at this point, the most of you kind of know the general town layout, and you would be aware that no crypts exist.
And no, like, passage to the underground well. I'm assuming this was just dug deep and then ended.
Essentially.
Well, this leaves us one of two options. We can either go down there ourselves, or we can just stay up here.
Aren't there multiple wells though?
Oh, aye.
well, I do not need to breathe, so if we go down there, I will not drown. Though I do not think that brings much comfort to you all.
How about I test the water first before we make another decision?
I-
Let's do that.
That sounds
I
like a
feel
plan.
as though. Wait, are you intending to drink the water? That
No,
was the lead.
I've got alchemy supplies,
Oh,
so I'll run it and see what I get.
oh, okay. I apologize. I misunderstood.
You're good.
Okay.
Question:
Yeah.
Does Braxton have a fantasy centrifuge?
If alchemy supplies have a fantasy centrifuge, then probably.
I'm gonna say no on account of centrifuges are a fairly new invention. If you kind of wanted to achieve the same effect, you applied good old fashioned force to it,
I mean,
which kind of does achieve the same thing.
to be fair, too, I mean, there's lots of other ways to use alchemy to test that kind of stuff.
True.
Yep.
Like literally just like seeing if I can separate, like just seeing if I see anything in the water itself by putting it in a vial rather than having it in a bucket. And if I see like skin flecks or some shit in it, you know what I mean?
Okay, so you pull up a bucket and you begin testing. Roll me an alchemy check. I'll give you advantage since you're proficient with it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is what it was designed to more or less kind of accomplish. So, alchemy. Yep.
Intelligence, I assume, right?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, 20.
It's there's definitely something in it. You kind of can't differentiate what, but this isn't well water at this point. You're fairly certain of that. As in, this isn't normal well water. Let me clarify.
Is it arcane in any way, or magical, or is it just straight up just like it's been
It's not
grossed?
magical.
Okay, it's just been tainted or grossed or something. Like something's been mixed in with it.
Can I try something?
Hey, sure.
I'm gonna
I
try.
mean, it's we got a bucket of water over there. I just needed a bit of it.
Oh.
If I may, if I were to be given a day of preparation, I could identify if there is any sort of poison or disease in this water and what that is.
Well, I mean, we can do that when we take a nap, but for the time being, let's just see what we can.
Very
I'm gonna try to. I mean, this is up to you whether this would. I'll try to like prestidigitate the water to see if I can separate the pollutant, since I can technically clean. I don't know if that counts or not.
I'll. For the purposes of this, I'll say that prestidigitation's quote-unquote cleaning property just purifies the water magically.
Okay.
So you can't actually separate the pollutant.
Fair enough.
Who here is the lightest?
Even though you can breathe, Mr. Warforged. No, sorry, Mr. Animated Armor. I don't know what a Warforged is. I'm sorry. Do you believe you can climb out or get out of there? Like, this is a well meant for water, not for your seemingly heavy weight. No offense.
I look down the well. Does it look like I could climb out of here easily if I needed to?
It does have steps on it, but the general shape of the well is kind of like here. Let me just. It has a cavern at the bottom, something like that, and then it leads upwards. So actually climbing up would be fairly difficult. With that said, there is like a rope mechanism hanging down there. So with the aid of the rope mechanism, it wouldn't be too difficult.
It's doable.
I suppose I could attempt to go down there. However, I fear that whatever may be down there will attack me and destroy me before I can escape.
I don't mind going down with you. We could discuss the intricacies of kidnapping children and court.
I think I would rather find another way down there if it is all the same to you all.
I mean, I don't think there is another way down, honestly. It's this or nothing.
I could teleport you down much quicker. If you, of course, trust me. He smiles, like, surprisingly grinning, like, at Sunny. Like, if you trust me, I could teleport you down.
If I am to be completely honest, I do not trust you.
Well,
Snap,
you know what? Oh, sorry.
Everybody give me about 10 minutes. I'm going to try something else here. And I'm going to ritually cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
As he's doing that, Sunny will say, well, I also have the concern that if someone else were to follow me down there, this disease, as it were, may contaminate you, and you may suffer from this undead curse. I am immune to such things.
I mean,
but you are not.
The other option is we could tie a rope to Sunny, and if he gets into danger, the three of us could pull him up.
I very much doubt I can pull him up.
think the three of us together should be able to handle it. Especially with the pulley system.
Why don't we just tie Sunny to the rope and slowly lower him down?
Wait, I believe we should just leave the rope and then they can just climb back up. But honestly, I'm thinking, if we do go down there, having somebody who's more resistant to diseases and such would probably be a good idea. And if there's a creature down there, then having backup for Sunny. So I honestly believe we should just risk it. Because worst comes to worst, we find a way to cure the person since we know that the disease is there. I mean, does anyone have any way of curing disease or anything like that?
Actually, let me double check that and make sure I can.
I'm pretty sure lay on
Paladins
hands
can
cure-
use 5
yeah,
HP to
Yeah.
cure disease.
like literally a
Well, I'm not sure-
paladin feature.
I just want to make sure it's not poison. One disease or neutralize one
Yeah.
poison. Okay, it is both. Someone will say, I can potentially cure you of a disease if you are afflicted. However, again, I am just cautious that this may be some sort of magical ailment, and I am not 100%. I cannot be 100% certain that I would be able to cure such. Actually, DM, would I be able to cure something even if it's like a magical disease?
Michael, I tested it with alchemy and Jordan said it wasn't magical.
And
Oh,
I
right,
just cast detect magic to sense any magic and to double check that.
Yep, and you sense nothing. To
It would be really cool of Jordan to go like, it was magical, fuckers.
no, to be for the benefit of your own curiosity, Sonny, you get the impression that you can probably cure most illnesses, even if their cause is like magical, with certain exceptions. Spell plague being one of them,
All right.
for instance.
The spell plague.
Very well. I will. Very well. If this is the course of action we wish to pursue, then I suppose I could. Seamus, may I ask that you put that light upon my shield or sword so that I may be able to see down there?
Of course, just name which way you want.
Actually, could you do it on my chest piece? Thus, it cannot be removed.
Sounds fair, and I will touch Sunny's chest and cast light.
Okay, so for the purposes of this, you have one of two options. One of you can go down the well without much bother, or you could risk it for the biscuit and have two people at the same time go.
I could.
It takes about a turn for one of you to like
Shimmy down
get
the well.
lower down.
Yeah.
Yes.
I could I'm pretty dexterous and acrobatic. I could easily shimmy down a well with someone else.
I am,
Well, we definitely want Sunny to go down, yeah.
as you would say, a bit clumsy. I do not have as much confidence in my ability to get down there if it is a feat of nimbleness.
I think getting up is the more a feat of strength, though.
Getting up is a feat of strength. Lowering yourself down is either an acrobatics or an athletics.
So either or.
Your choice.
Ah,
If you're hanging on to the rope and someone is lowering you down, it's an athletics. If you're making your own way down, it's an acrobatics.
Okay. I don't mind. How about who wants to go first? I can see in the dark. Honestly, it's like day right now for me. So I don't mind going down first. And
Just like,
No, it is fine. I can go down there.
I think Sunny first, and then and I think Sunny first, and if you guys want to risk it, Sunny and Aldrin at the same time, and then we'll have two people down there, and then if we need more help, we can lower somebody down with like Seamus's turn, and then Braxton goes or something. If it is a combat down there.
Yeah, if it comes combat, we can lower down Braxton and Seamus can get down there by himself.
Or Seamus can stay up there and just bardically support people by looking down the well and doing his best.
It's 400
Also,
feet down to out of my range.
Oh.
Is it 400 feet down? I could have just
Deep
teleported
fucking
somewhere.
well if it's 400 feet. Holy
Jeez.
shit.
That's what
Shit,
Jordan
man.
said. I'm just repeating what Jordan said.
Yep.
Fucking shit.
That's not a
It-
well.
hey,
That's
the
a natural
average-
cavern.
the average depth of most wells is from 100 to 500 feet.
Yeah, because you got to get to the water tables. They're really low, man. That's
Yep.
why falling down a well is generally death.
All right. Very well. I will go
no.
down first.
And then I'll follow after him then.
Okay, so how would you choose to descend, Sonny?
Via athletics.
Okay, so you grab the rope and two people lower you down.
By the way, Sonny,
make
good
me
luck
an
to you there.
athletics
You're a
advantage.
really good metal man. You got the greatest climbs ever. Take a bardic inspiration there, Michael.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry, Jordan.
Considering there are people topside that can essentially just lower you down, you're free to make that check at advantage.
Thank you.
Okay.
As I get near the bottom, I will also cast a shield of faith upon myself.
Okay.
Michael and
And
his paranoia.
We saw something down here, man. Besides, it lasts 10 minutes.
A turn later, you are now down the well, and let me just real quick. There we go.
Oh my god, we're huge.
Oh,
Indeed.
yeah, man.
Supersize me.
You can trick
So,
us down too to fix that, though.
No. This isn't. This should be intended. Yeah.
Okay.
My paranoia was warranted.
Ah,
I'm
boss
gonna-
music.
Don't forget you also have your
I'm gonna drag Braxton just so I can freaking roll his initiative and have it on the tracker.
I'm already
Sure.
on there
Yep,
for some
go for
reason.
it.
I didn't even drag my character over.
He prepared your
I'm
guys'
gonna-
and not ours, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get on initiative just in case, because this is obviously going to matter. Okay,
also
the
gonna
thing is,
drop him.
we can see this because Sunny's lit up like a goddamn candle.
Yeah, if you didn't cast light on him, I would have.
So, where is? There we go.
Ah, good. Our elf is
What did I roll? Jesus.
our elf is sitting on his ass as our robot dies. That's fantastic. Oh!
Jesus Christ.
Shield of faith. Shield of
Shield
faith.
of faith.
Shield of faith.
Perhaps,
Shield of
perhaps.
My
you could-
paranoia.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, there's
What
just
the fuck
zombies. You're
am I rolling?
fine.
My paranoia was warranted.
4, 5. Okay, let me just add them.
Shield of faith. Shield of faith.
Heath, my paranoia was warranted.
2, 18,
Don't forget you also have that inspiration when needed.
8,
Huh.
0 will
You
be
know,
enough. And
Braxton may be the best one because he can go down there, use his bonus action to activate his Scourge ASMR, and then could do radiant damage in a wave to all of them
I'll
every
call
turn.
this a 1 and this a 2.
Honestly, in such a small space, my burst arrow could probably one-shot them.
2. Oh, that's a 4 minus.
Keep
Jesus.
in mind, I am also here.
Hey, you're just taking radiant damage every turn's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Descending.
paladin. You
That
should
doesn't mean
love
I'm
it.
resistant.
So, turn 1. You do indeed all see this, by the way. So,
Oh shit, Sonny, watch your back!
Bite. And claw. And claw.
Holy fuck! 3 attack
think-
zombies?
Strahd zombies.
But they all missed, right?
Oh yeah.
I believe so. Yeah. So, Sunny,
I will.
you spot 5 figures emerging from the waters, and one makes attempt to get you.
I will draw my longsword and attack the one who just attacked me.
Okay.
One-handed, because I am also using my shield.
Go for it.
21.
Hits.
8 points of slashing damage.
Okay. Roll me a d20.
Oh, I know what this is about.
I don't, and that makes me scared.
As you slash at it, you sever one of its arms. And
The-
Seamus.
Seamus looks over at Braxton and Eladrin and goes, "Ah, fucking hell, what are we supposed to do now?"
Hold him steady.
Send help.
Fuck it! Eladrin, remember how I said I was kind of sort of human?
Yes.
Well, you're about to find out why I fucking said that. I'm gonna dive down the well, and when I'm about 100 feet up, I will activate my wings.
Okay.
As I will do my Radiant Soul Protector Azamar to give me flight.
Wait, there's 2 Asmars in this group?
Yes.
Apparently.
Shh. You don't know about Brax. Shh. It's fine. Shh.
So,
I want to be about 60 feet up, or so. Yeah, I'll say 60 feet in the air.
okay.
As I dive down, I don't know if you want to mark. Here, I can mark that.
I did. I'm using the 1 empty value on the token.
Oh, I see.
Guys, I'm scared.
That's my action. With my bonus action, I will cast a hex on this guy right here.
Okay. Anything else?
That's literally bonus action, and movement.
Still would like to ask. So,
Yep.
Braxton, that occurs.
So, do you want to go down next, Eldrin, or should I? Because I can lower you down.
I don't need you to lower me down. I can get there pretty easily myself. You should head on ahead first.
Okay, got it.
He'll climb down using the rope, and then go like fuck it, and then do some parkour shit because his acrobatics is better than his athletics.
Okay.
I think at this point, Sunny is the only muscle we have, guys.
Roll for it then. Yep, you make it down without incident.
All right, can you increase my character token size?
Yep. Here you go. I have the tokens prepped.
Okay. Oh, and that was my turn? I don't get to use a bonus action?
Yes.
Does he get a bonus?
Again.
Oh.
It takes your entire turn to kind of go down the well.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the shimmy cheat because I plummeted and flew.
Essentially. Aldrin.
How much? What's the total length, width of this well?
It's normal well size, so about 5 feet at the bottom, and then it expands at kind of the cavern layer. At which point it's about, and I can give you an exact measurement, about 22 feet across.
Okay, so the ones surrounding Sunny are 5 feet, 5 feet, and 5 feet, 7 feet, and 10 feet.
Yep.
So everyone's 10 feet is basically 10 feet around Sunny, right?
Yes.
Aldrin yells down and says, "Sunny, duck!" as he quickly, swiftly unsheaths his bow and arrow and releases an arcane shot, which is a burst arrow.
Okay, go for it. I believe a bow has enough range to do so.
Oh yeah,
So
they have like 400 range.
600. It's actually 600
600.
range.
Yep.
So I'm gonna hit the arrow. I'm gonna hit the nearest zombie.
There'll be a
And it should hit them.
disadvantage, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Is
one
that
thing.
disadvantage?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're in the outer range for sure.
Let me just double. Yep.
Longbow has like 120 feet of normal range and then 600 range of far.
Yeah, so you're in the
So
I
six.
think-
disadvantage.
Yeah,
So I'm at
150 over
disadvantage?
600.
Yes.
Okay.
Please miss. No.
That would
18.
hit.
So
And
I do a total of 9 AoE, and one of them gets another 9 extra.
Okay.
But it's all of the creatures, so you know everyone else in the cavern.
Except Seamus, because he's
Uh,
60 feet up in the air.
Yep.
It's not ones you choose. Is it a dex save or we just take
It's
the
just
damage?
a take, it looks like.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we just take 9 damage. That's fun. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Actually,
Ow!
does Sunny actually take the damage, or does he have an AC higher than 18?
It's all creatures take damage, not
It's all
freaking.
creatures,
Not
yeah.
there's no AC thing.
Oh, no. I'm sorry about that. I probably should have said you wait. Mm,
Which one was your primary target, by the way?
Probably this guy, because that's the most likely he'd be able to see.
yeah.
Yep.
guy.
Okay. Roll me a d20 as well. A 4 means that this one is. Oh, you strike it directly in the leg, shattering it. Okay. And yet it's still up.
Whew. That is
Ooh,
a
and the other
nasty
ones?
zombie.
The other ones look slightly hurt, but it's force damage, right?
Yeah.
The AoE.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're well. They're not immune to it, they look hurt, but you didn't do the additional thing that Strahd zombies do. So, seeing that, this one will go here, being quite mindless.
Oh,
This one
Michael, you
there.
gotta make a freaking con save.
Ah, fuck me, you're right.
Woo!
Oh, why?
Save.
Because you hit him!
You- I'm concentrating on Shield of Faith.
One
Oh,
Bite.
shit.
misses, one claw. Misses, another claw. Misses. And then the other one. Guessing that one misses. That one misses. That one misses. Having high AC. Okay, so that's these two taken care of.
Honestly, none of those would hit anybody in the
one.
party.
This one
And this is
one
where
will
we
kinda
say
fire.
goodbye to Detective Braxton.
So, Detective Braxton.
Mm.
First bite.
Miss.
Misses. Second claw. Misses. Third claw. Misses.
Misses. First bite. Miss. Second claw. Hit
Hits.
for 6. Hit for 4. All right, that's another 10. Sweet.
Oh boy.
Thanks for the
And-
9 damage before this, by the way.
I would like to say I did not read my abilities properly. And I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, I realized that.
So
So
this one
Seamus is like,
zombie has-
I just imagine Seamus is flying over top and just sees this explosion and looks over at Aldrin. Remember what I said about combat usually bringing the party together?
Yeah. Miss. Miss.
and that's it. Sunny.
Oh, that one only had 2 attacks?
You
You cut off one of its
diagonal.
arms.
Oh. Alright, does it look like it's about on death's door?
Yes,
Okay. Sunny will go to strike it again.
go for it. And it misses. Impressive.
Damn. The one thing I could have rolled to miss. Ah, well, I'm doing my job. I'm a tank.
Seamus.
Seamus will force blast him as he flies overhead. Hey, you cocksucker! Leave my friend alone!
That hits.
That's 7 force plus 5 necrotic and 3 radiant.
That very much kills it.
You're getting all the damage types in.
Yes, he is literally a guy who was like, you got a resistance, fine. I'll get around it with one of these.
Oh, you deleted my initiative because you deleted the smaller token.
Shit. Okay, hold on. Turn. What was your initiative?
It was like 8.7. So I was mentioning that because I went right after Seamus. So I didn't want to fucking get skipped over by a zombie.
And then with my
Wait,
bonus action,
I re-added it and fixed it. So if you want to
Oh,
just
okay.
yeah,
reshuffle.
so I will hex this guy over here by Seamus because he's the one who needs help
Okay,
with my bonus.
you do so. Braxton.
Braxton isn't looking too good, right?
You might want to use the dodge action.
Oh, I was thinking something else. But you're probably right. Dodge would be smarter, huh? All right, I'll do the dodge action once, and we'll see how it goes. And if I get hit, I blame you, Michael. I claim you, Destroyer of Worlds.
I'm trying to keep you alive, man.
But I could increase my AC and make me fucking stronger. It's okay. Yeah.
Isn't
so
that a
Braxton
bonus
will,
action?
Yes, but if he doesn't have to turn into a werewolf in the place that apparently kills werewolves, he won't.
I mean, you're also in the
I-
middle of a well, so I mean, if you're
You know
going to
what?
do
Yeah,
it,
Brax. Also, he kind of loses himself when he's. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So Braxton will initiate his Lycan transformation.
what are the odds? Are you going to hit Sunny anyways?
Well, I've got to get through the 2 other zombies first, so it's gonna take me a little bit.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And then after he turns into it, he will take the dodge action.
Okay.
Just for my own sake, what does he look like? Are we talking Teen
he-
Wolf or?
No, he straight up turns into a full-on werewolf.
Well,
Yeah,
Huh.
but he still wears his scale mail and everything like. It's one of those things where he's a werewolf, but he didn't bust out of his clothes and like rip himself open. He like turned into a werewolf and still kept all of the clothes and armor on. They just expanded to accommodate his size.
well, I suppose we all have our secrets, don't we?
I thought I was a fairly open book.
Indeed. Hey, Sunny.
Yeah.
Nom.
Miss.
Yep, that'll
It was,
hit.
it was the only thing that could. Never mind. That also hit.
Don't forget to make your 2 con saves,
Yeah.
Michael.
Save.
You're inspired. You're inspired.
I am inspired. You're right. Thank you.
2, 2, 2, 2, 4.
You maintain concentration.
You're
I am
welcome.
I'm looking very hurt at 7
If you
HP.
do another burst arrow, we will climb up this realm and rip out your heart. Just to let you know.
Okay, just seeing this. Realizing what's going on, sheaths his bow and quickly climbs, takes out 2 scimitars, puts one on in the middle of his teeth, and holds the other one and climbs down.
Okay, roll me an acrobatics.
It's a 17. It's not a
Oh wait, am I at
disadvantage.
disadvantage? So yeah, I got 17 then.
You make it down. I will not delete that token.
And yeah,
That's the entirety of your turn.
I got 2 blades and I'm here to fight.
I love this fight. Wait, why does that zombie have 2 turns? What?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Because you used. Yeah, well, you had him on 2 turns. Weird.
It's gone now.
I think
Okay.
I think you didn't have initiative on one of them and you just doubled up on that guy.
Yep,
Which is
so,
fine.
Sunny. Gnome.
Miss.
And Scratch.
Miss.
Scratch.
Thank
Miss.
God your shield of faith stayed up.
I know.
Though I guess it would have only been 2 more damage, which you really can't afford to take.
Disadvantage, baby.
Okay, so.
I'd like to point out we are
Uh,
such a heavy-duty AC party.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to
Disadvantage,
this
so
was
that was a
17.
miss.
So 17 still hits.
Oh Jesus! I thought you had a
Jesus.
7. I thought you had a plus. I guess only a +1 AC
Hey,
to lycanthrope, isn't
Plus
it?
side,
Yeah.
you have resistance.
So 2 damage.
So, first claw attack. I need to make cold
You gotta go into cog and
advantage toggle. No, always roll advantage yellow. I can keep track of as well. Okay, so. And that's a 4, so that misses.
I mean, to be
Okay,
fair,
so I got hit
you're-
once.
if you didn't dodge, you would have took a total of 11 damage there.
So, first bite attack for the first one misses. 16
Misses.
and 13
Misses.
misses.
My AC increased by 1. Thank fuck.
Sunny.
I will take 10 points of lay on hands into myself.
Okay.
As my armor just undents itself, and as I glow a little bit, my armor just undents itself and just goes. Much better. And
Any bonus actions?
I really don't have any, so no. I feel like I'm more
Shame.
useful being a shield.
I will hex blast the guy who's hexed.
Okay, go for it.
14. 17 to hit, 14 damage. 9 force. 2
Minus
necrotic and 3 radiant.
Okay. Anything else?
I think I'll hold off. I can't. I have other bonuses I could use, but I don't want to burn them.
Fair.
Make a wisdom save, Braxton. Saved. Okay, I'd spend my turn dodging.
Okay.
If I failed, I would have used my attack action.
This one strikes it.
Sunny.
Sunny. Yep.
Oh, poor Sonny. This is gonna go bad. I just know it.
Nat 1. 7. 16.
60.
Woo.
Yep.
This is
Aldrin.
This is nerve-wracking.
Oh, I know. Even like
Okay.
the thing is with those 3 attacks, like the
Five-foot
odds of
step.
getting a crit are too high, right? Even with that super AC.
Yep.
That hits. And would
Oops, I
you?
didn't. The force. Sorry, the force doesn't matter.
Okay. Would you mind rolling a d20 for me? Okay.
I still have my offhand attack as well.
Yep, go for it. That hits. And roll another d20.
Damn, you took 2 weapon fighting?
Yeah, it took 2 weapon. I didn't take archery because I was just so insane with it already.
No, fair enough.
Okay. So you just cleave both of the legs of this creature and it falls prone.
Yay, its attacks are disadvantaged automatically.
Indeed. So, Sunny.
Yes.
Nom.
Oh.
Miss. Miss.
Okay.
Man, it's a good thing I'm a Warforged who took defensive fighting style.
And now Braxton.
Miss.
Miss.
Miss. Miss. Miss. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Hit for 1.
Oh wait, no, you dodged.
Miss.
Oh yeah, you
Oh, wait,
dodged.
no,
You missed.
you're right,
Yeah,
you're
you all
right.
missed.
Yeah, all of those miss.
You know, I want to keep dodging because you rolled 3 crits against me, and that's really scary.
Yeah, I know.
Mind you, that's all at advantage crits at least, but yeah.
They still happened. How hurt is this one looking?
Near death.
Okay, I will strike at that one.
It's an advantage, Michael. It's prone.
Hey, thanks for reminding me.
So that.
Thank God. 10 points of slack.
And you end its on life.
Great. That'd be me.
Seamus.
Seamus will blasty blast the one that's attacking his friend. 18 damage! Oh fuck!
Wow.
It's always nice to roll max damage.
Indeed. And that has none of the attributes. Braxton.
This thing's still alive?
Yes.
Gotta be barely.
Braxton
Holy
will make
crap!
his wisdom saving throw and make it, but he'll just try to kill it. So I'll be making 2 feral strike attacks against it.
Okay. That would end it.
Nice.
And then second attack will be against this guy, and since I have dual wielding.
Okay.
Oh, and I gotta roll your d20, right? Because
Yep.
it's slashing damage. 4. Leg, probably.
Yep.
Hey.
Aldrin.
5-foot step. Begin the butchery.
That would kill it.
Oh damn, that was
Hey.
what? Oh, when the hell did we hit that one?
Aldrin the first time, then you.
When did I hit that one?
Yeah, because of the burst arrow. Well,
Maybe look, Jordan maybe thought we were talking about the wrong thing once. It's fine.
That's possible.
yeah, so I don't know what to do. I don't know. Stay here then. I don't have. Well, I don't even have any movement, so yeah.
All right, 1 round of attacks. Come on, zombie.
You're out of movement?
Yeah, I
What
took
do
a
you-
I took the 5-foot step first, and then did the attack.
No, I've never. Usually, when I play GMs, they'll usually let you break up your movement and attacks, but that depends on the GM, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, you let me?
Also, to my knowledge, 5-foot step isn't a thing in 5B.
Oh, it isn't?
No,
Then what am I thinking about?
you're thinking of 3.5.
Pathfinder. I usually play that.
That
Yeah.
confused me. The elf can only move 5 feet. Boy, this is gonna be a short campaign for the elf.
Oh,
I don't know how he accomplished that, but hey, here we are.
Wait, I'm confused. Why do you have a +2 because of 2
no,
weapons?
it's wrong. It's the two-handed fighting. I was checking. Never mind. It's fixed. It's fine. I fixed it.
So 17 probably still hits for 9, yeah.
Yeah, they have an 8 AC.
Yeah, missing these things is practice. We have to roll a 1.
Which I
So
did.
A 17 would hit.
Why don't you have proficiency on your second scimitar?
I thought it said no modifiers.
What did you take as your fighting style?
2-weapon.
So you get to add your proficiency then. for that.
Oh,
No,
the
you
one-
always get to add your proficiency. It's the damage you don't take if you don't take 2-weapon fighting.
So literally, it's just a attack as your bonus action, but like literally, you can just have the same thing twice.
Yeah, you don't need to separate it if you're using the same weapon.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
then.
I'll drain a d20. Hey, that's a hound, actually.
No more
Hey.
claws that could kill Braxton.
Yeah, Braxton's fine.
We say this before he gets insta-credited and dies.
Nah.
Doesn't look like it.
Well, we critted, just the wrong kind.
Sunny.
Sunny.
I'll move 5 feet over here, and this thing is prone, correct?
No.
Because it lost a leg.
At least
Yes.
he loses. I thought
No,
it was
it
both.
lost a hand.
You lost a leg and a
Oh.
hand. It's got to lose both legs, Michael.
Oh, okay. I will. Alright, I will take a swing at it.
Go for it.
15.
Roll damage.
12 slashing.
Jesus.
And with that, there are no more zombies down the well.
I said that was
Uh,
a successful fight. I never lost any life and everything.
Well, I don't know why you took us off the map. We still have a werewolf who needs to make his last wisdom save.
Ah, shit, right.
Or gets cut up to sashimi.
Oh, it was DC8. Oh boy. Luckily, the nearest person was Sunny, so it was fine. And then yes, Braxton will unwerewolf.
Out of curiosity, could you do me a favor and roll that,
To
Oh
attack.
yeah.
Yeah. Lucky my ass! Anyway.
So, do you not have a second attack?
Oh no, that's a bonus action. I only have to make the attack action.
Ah, fair enough.
But anyway.
Like, if you know what, if you want me to, if you want to make it more
Yes.
fun.
Yeah.
I've never played a Blood Hunter, so I'm not sure.
Like, by the way, Blood Hunter Lycan has been through a few revisions because it was also bad at one point, and also it's been changed a bit. It's been through the pound a few times to see who adopts it. You know what I mean?
I
So-
remember when it was
Yep.
super OP and it was the only Blood Hunter to go.
So, yeah, I guess at the end of the combat, Seamus just flies back up.
Is there any other exit to this well or no?
There doesn't appear to be.
Okay.
Can I switch around to see if there's anything in this well?
A whole lot of zombies.
We should remove these from the well and let Ismark know that there are zombies in the wells, likely causing the
Right,
disease. We should also remove the zombies from the well now.
What about the other wells?
I just
It is likely that they face a similar issue, and we should inform Ismith as soon as possible to avoid any more people dying of this.
Great. In any case, you got tie a rope to the zombies and we'll pull them up one by one.
Understood. And I
Right.
will start doing that.
Braxton coughs up a little blood and tries to make sure none of it gets into the water. Oh.
Eldrin slaps Sarsha on the shoulder. Well, that was bloody good fun. And it's always good to have a good hunt, you know.
Aldrin, I appreciate your assistance. However, I would request in the future that you do not do something that would harm fellow party members in a combat scenario
Braxton.
or any scenario.
Forgive me, I didn't realize you guys were so slow that you wouldn't have dodged that away. I'm sorry.
Braxton. Sorry. Aldrin, we were in a very enclosed space. Okay.
Yes. It would have been made. I'm sorry. Aldrin is gonna say this in the most sarcastic turn. I'm sorry. I thought that with such an enclosed space, my arcane arrow would deal the most substantial damage, thus quickly ending the battle. I did not realize you both were so slow that you could not have dodged out of the way. I am sorry.
I would suggest you leave the well now and leave Braxton and me to recover the bodies.
Better you than
Braxton
me.
loads the crossbow.
Yes. Yes. Better you than me. And he quickly gets out of the well.
I look over to Braxton and I say, he is. As soon as Aldrin leaves, I say, I must admit I do not care for his company, but I would not raise a hand to him.
While I'm in this injured state, give me a rest.
Well, the way I see it is, the next time he shoots me with one of his arrows, and even if they're magical, I get to shoot him with my magic arrows. And then we'll just see who feels what.
I encourage peace. I would appreciate if you gave him another chance before ill feelings are held over.
Oh, of course, I said the next time. And yes, as soon as the next time it happens, I will be giving him a piece of my mind. And possibly my bolts. Because they will be lodged in his ass, and he'll have to get out of his butt when I shoot him.
You know I hear you, right?
Yes! I know!
You know, I hate to say it, Alondrin, I think they're a little peeved at you.
You know, it's one of those things where if you gave us a heads up or something, it would have been a lot better. But then you just hit us for a lot of damage.
I'm sorry that you guys can't
I
dodge an
shoot
arrow.
the crossbow up at the well at him. It gets halfway up before dropping back down.
It's you?
No, of course it fucking doesn't. It shot all the way up and then we moved out of the way.
Too bad. I wish you were angry enough to just stand there looking angry.
I look at Braxton, and I will lower my voice as I say this. By the way, I figured you probably do not wish to speak with this of the others, but I am noticing that you have some sort of celestial presence to you.
Yeah,
Much like Seamus.
yeah, that was something I just realized as well during that combat, which is, I guess, something we have in common. Seeing as how, I was born slightly differently, and the whole, hey, I can turn into a werewolf thing, I usually try to keep that kind of stuff private.
I would also inquire about the lycanthrope symptoms that you experience.
Yeah,
If you wish not to speak of it, then I shall not pry.
it's one of those things where it's like, I don't fully know. The whole ASMR thing is, the whole Amos thing is actually, I don't know. Because as far as I know, a lot of other people in our family didn't get it. So unless, like, it skipped a lot of bloodlines and the Cromwells just got it, or, like, you know, my dad cheated on my mom and then, like, messed with an angel and then I came out, or, you know, the other parent did infidelity. Who knows?
Perhaps some celestial being took notice of your soul and blessed you.
I mean, Cromwells are notoriously lucky, so maybe that did happen. Who knows? It's been, I don't know. Personally, a little bit part of the reason is why I've been searching all the ancient ruins and caverns just to get a little bit of closer for it, but it's mostly been for the kicks. Her lycanthropy is because of one of those shit kicks, and, seeing as how all my words are echoing, and we're hauling a bunch of zombie corpses. I'll tell you that story a different time.
Very well. I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, no problem. If you could like keep it a little bit lower, lower kill. Like if Seamus goes like, "Hey, was Broxton Celestial?" You can go like, "Yeah, kinda," and stuff like that. But the stuff about my family and I mean, you could say they're notoriously lucky, but the infidelity is probably a rumor I don't want to get out. And I don't know why I revealed it to you. I think you're just very trustworthy.
He's got one of those
I
faces.
appreciate. I appreciate the trust you put in me, friend. By my oath as a priest, I will not reveal these secrets to anyone without your permission, of course.
Thanks.
If you ever need to bear your sins, I am also so trained to give you absolution.
Same token sort of thing. I don't think you're an animated suit of armor, mostly because, you have internal bits and stuff like that, and I just, haven't really met one of your kind before. How does, a person like you, like maybe in wherever you came from, they are priests all the time, but like, how did you get into the whole Paylor thing?
You see, I had been initially created underground, and when I left, I had wandered for many months on end, absorbing the natural beauty of the world, amazed at the things I saw, the light of the sun, how it illuminated everything. It brought me much joy, and through my wandering, I had found a abbey, one that worshipped the god Pelor. The priest there informed me of him and taught me much of his ways. I believe it is Pelor who, while not constructed my body, gave me a soul.
Oh.
And so I am now dedicating my existence to him.
Well, holy shit. I honestly think that's just like wholesome as hell. That's pretty cool. That just feels great. I'm glad that Palo was out for you in your times of, wandering and you were able to do all of that. I honestly, that just makes you more endearing, honest to God, Sonny.
Thank you. It was an amazing feeling to experience emotion for the first time, as I had not felt it underground.
Yeah.
At this moment, I'm just going to say Seamus shouts down, "Are you two done with them parties yet? I'm not exactly thrilled to be up here with a ladron all by myself."
We chopped off so many parts!
No, I was about to say, we're working as we do this. There's just a lot of bits we have to collect.
You know how many arms and legs are down here? There's probably parts of zombies that aren't even alive anymore. Like, we didn't even fight.
Just hurry it up. It's not like I'm having a ball up here.
Hey, what do you mean?
Why don't you two talk about your secret backstories while we're walking down here? Eh?
Well, you see, as he turns to him, you see, Roland is the bastard son of a dragon. Of course, fuck him. Now I'm just a fae. What the hell are you guys doing? Hurry up.
Well, you're a right bastard.
So,
and you guys are lazy drakes. What the hell are you guys doing?
Gentlemen, if I may suggest peace rather than war, it would bring me much joy to see you two get along. Despite Aldrin's disagreeable personality.
Just hey guys, let's relax and everything like that. Also, Aldrin's a prick. just the most veiled, unintentional insult.
See, Sonny doesn't see it as an insult. He's just staying back. He doesn't understand that was a backhanded insult.
The backhand compliment, yeah. Everybody ready? Anyways, you two done down there, or what?
Jordan.
Almost done.
So, as the two of them are discussing their conversation and slowly bringing the zombie corpses topside, Uh, Aldrin and Seamus, a couple of guards just begin approaching you, and when they get sort of close, one of them just exclaims, "Ladies, citizen, explain."
Pardon?
There are guards in this town? Damn!
Where have you been all this time?
We just never heard anything of them yet.
No, he's like, excuse me, sir, what did you say?
What's happening here?
I think it's pretty obvious. We were down the well, found zombies, killed them, and now we're bringing up the corpses, providing that people aren't getting infected by their rotten corpses ilk.
Yes, I believe your town has been drinking dead people. I don't know how you guys didn't notice till now, but yes. Don't worry, we took care of it for you. At least, now.
We would like you to talk to the burgomaster if possible.
Sure, just 1
Sure.
second. We got a few friends down there. Hey, you two done screwing around? Are you ready to get up? The burgomaster wants to see us.
Yeah.
Hold- Hold
Ivar,
on. We're sending up the last of the legs now.
As you know what I gotta do. As Seamus pulls it up, he hands it to the guard. Here, you can take this as evidence.
Are you sure we're not missing a head? I counted 5 bodies, but we only have 4 heads. Oh,
Oh,
You know, it'd be
go
hilarious.
ahead. Make your joke.
I succeeded in that con check, but you do see the guard kind of go slightly greenish and held back.
Oh, it's fine. Don't worry
He
about
was
it.
just on the verge.
I would have laughed if he puke ran to the well and it just went all over Braxton.
Braxton's having a bad day, man.
Aldrin's gonna come up and pat him on the shoulder. It's okay. We made sure they're dead this time. At least now they won't, come up and, devour your children or whatever these things do. Meh. I mean, even if they did, what are zombie children gonna do? Stab me to death? Ha.
You know what, Aldrin? Why don't you just stop for a bit and we'll discuss this later. You really got to work on your bedside manner, sort of thing.
But if I don't tell them the truth, I'm just gonna be lying to them, and Faye can't lie.
Well, I think you just lied to me there,
Blame
so
my
I
record.
was just like, yeah, pretty sure you just lied there. But in any case, you
Oh
do.
no! What are you talking about? It's dead, and that Fae children and that undead children are very weak and useless, thus easy to kill.
I mean, the logic checks out.
It's
Braxton,
just you go out of your way to point it out.
It's just like,
You know,
Braxton,
what
what's
is
up?
with you and either kidnapping or killing and knowing the death of children? This seems like really specific knowledge for you, Faye.
I mean, this is kind of common knowledge. I mean, I thought everyone knew that the habits and reproductive cycles of other creatures that you torment and use for entertainment. Don't you guys do this to your bulls and your dogs and your?
I never heard a dog in my life.
Eh, shrug. I mean, it honestly doesn't really matter for me if you did or not.
Oh, for the love! Get you two get up here already!
Braxton, will you need assistance getting up the well?
Oh, I shouldn't be. Alright, I can climb decently well. And I have this rope and 2 other people pulling me up. I should be okay.
Very well.
You go first,
I'll
though,
be-
so you can pull up the... Yeah.
Yes. Then in that case, I shall go up. Are we make? Did we make? DM, do we get all the body bits?
Yeah, eventually you can. I won't make you roll for it as you kind of have leisure time, essentially.
Okay. I will climb up.
Okay. The 2 of you eventually climb up, and the 2 guards kind of seeing the amount of bodies that the both of them kind of haul up. They decide to switch tacks and actually to switch tacts and just bring the burgomaster here instead of leading you there, and they will relay this to you.
Huh.
So
Are you going to go see this Mark, the guy who told us to go investigate and take care of stuff like this?
You know, now that we stand here with these bunches of corpses, I just realized something.
Mm.
You know, if any of these missing people accidentally got affected and were stuck in a house, what's the likelihood that people would actually know and check them? In fact, we could be surrounded by all these missing people in these houses and we wouldn't even know about it.
So you're thinking that
Well-
these might be the missing people?
Could be. They could have been killed, turned into undead, and left here to infect the rest.
I mean, seems
I
likely.
do not-
Surprised nobody actually ever went down the wells to check, though.
These people, well, how do I say this politely without lying?
The
They make
rubbish.
leprechauns. No, rubbish.
I-
They make golems seem intelligent.
I don't know if Sonny takes offense to that, but Sonny will actually, as we're waiting, he'll kneel down by the bodies and say a prayer to Pelor, and pray that their souls now may be put at rest and find their way to paradise.
okay, eventually Ismark is fetched, and he kind of surveys the scene.
Do you recognize these bodies?
I mean, keep
I
going.
mean-
You're good.
I mean, if there's missing people and no one and these bodies just suddenly appeared in these wells, they have to at least be connected somehow. I mean, how long have these missing people been disappearing? Has it been as long as the plague has been going on?
It has been far longer. The disappearances started about a year ago, but you claim that this is the cause of the plague.
We never
I mean,
said
you
that.
have been
We just
drinking dead people.
look. We're jumping to the conclusions here. We're not sure, but it's definitely a possibility.
Oh,
If you
I concede that definitely. It would have
If you-
started a lot earlier if this was the missing people, and he kind of grabs a list and just cross-references it with each of the corpses, and eventually he comes to the conclusion that he can recognize none of them.
if it would help with your plague problem, I can. If you bring me samples of all the waters from all the wells, I can tomorrow determine whether or not the well water has any sort of diseases in it.
Aldrin looks at Sunny, looks at the well, looks at Sunny again. Sunny, my good person, I believe these wells have how we say, been royally shattered, thus making them highly contaminated.
Yes.
Or is that how you say it? He turns to Braxton. You seem like the alchemist.
Yeah, I took a minor, but yeah, you're right. Contaminated.
But I can
Some-
identify the disease if it is such, and we could potentially find a well that has no diseases in it and thus have safer drinking water for the town.
Some
Eh.
clerical spells can actually fix this if my studies are correct, goes Ismark, and just says I will have to speak to Father Donovan about this.
All right, well,
Also, you're probably gonna have to go check the other wells.
Yes,
that
I will assemble some search parties for it, but it doesn't make sense. Even if well water is used for industrial purposes, not for drinking.
What do you drink then?
We mostly drink ale and wine and the such. It's curious that this much of our population has been affected this early.
How?
I mean-
Have you been using it for washing your clothes, your dishes, for example? cross contamination, or as actually, Aldrin want to know. Couldn't the sickness have passed through the water you used to wash your clothes, your dishes, your homes?
He kind of looks at all 5 of you being soaked and just goes, well, if that's the case, are any of you feeling sick?
Well, to be fair, Seamus is completely dry.
Ah, fair enough. So 3 of you being soaked.
I am not vulnerable to diseases, as I am not made of the same substance as you are.
That does indeed make sense, yes.
That reminds me, Braxton,
Mm.
I will put my hand on you and put 5 lay on hands into you to cure you of any diseases you may have.
All right, got it.
Oh,
Oh
just-
god, my athlete's foot's gone. Great.
You are welcome.
Aldrin, I hope you die.
Well, I used all my lay on hands undoing the damage he did to me, so...
Yeah, I know.
Don't worry. I'm obviously much better than all of you. Thus, I will not get sick.
Yeah.
Out of character, I hope you do. I hope you die horribly.
I love playing this fucking
Um,
Indeed, make me a con save. Nope.
Well, in any case, there you're probably right. I don't think we found the solution of the. I don't know if we found the actual location. How do you have a +1 con save as a fighter?
all Dex and all charisma, baby.
No, he just rolled Constitution. He don't roll save.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why.
But anyway, well, I do not know about the rest of you, but my abilities for the day are starting to become exhausted.
I believe you're right.
And I imagine we've been up. I imagine we've been up for a while at this point, right?
It is starting to become essentially night hours.
Burgermaster, is there a place we may rest for the evening?
I mean, considering I will most likely need to reward you anyway, you are welcome to stay the night at our manor. It's fairly empty as it is.
That'd be much
Thank
appreciated.
you.
But before we hit off the head, guys, we still got a couple hours of daylight left. Do we still want to go seeing about finding them kids to see if we can locate these missing people?
I see no reason not to if we have the time.
I'm quite tired, but whatever.
Looks
gonna
at
follow you guys around.
Aldrin and kind of like glares at the guy who took no damage.
My boots got wet.
My Sunny's eyes flicker red for a moment and then back to yellow.
Making-
Sunny's bane.
Sunny being a redemption paladin redeeming Aldrin is going to be the longest, hardest thing, but if he pulls it off,
I think Strahd is going to be easier to redeem than Aldrin at this point.
Okay, and Seamus walks up. By the way, Braxton, let me give you a hand there, and he will prestidigitate you clean.
No, thank you. Thank you guys very much. Oh, by the way, if you could,
specifically not mention how I looked in the later part of that last fight, I'd be very appreciative.
Don't say enough of the
like
word,
how
Rex.
like how you.
Then not-
how I was cool. Yes.
And how
Correct.
embarrassing he looked with his hair all slicked down in the well water. I mean, yeah, no worries, Braxton. Lips are sealed.
Yes. Though I'm surprised you don't smell like
I'm-
wet dog.
I-
But maybe
I-
that's the
As soon as he
streets.
starts talking again, I go to tackle him and cover his mouth.
Aldrin is utterly confused about why no one's saying anything like this.
Also, if we could keep my little
So
secret,
is it.
no offense, boys, but if we could keep my little extras a bit hidden too, I'm not exactly happy to share about that with everybody. Yeah, that's right, Aldrin.
Yeah.
No big worries about it. It was a bad hair day.
I believe, Aldrin, I believe that they would like it if you did just not talk for the next 3 hours or so.
Can we talk about it in private next time, Aldrin? I'm sure you understand.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Sunny will get
Sonny.
off of him.
I'll say, if you just wanted to say that, why didn't you say that beforehand?
Yep, that's on me. I apologize. let's go see if the other kids are dead.
I
That's it.
is Mark at that point says, I don't mean to intrude on your freedom, but it is getting rather late, and I will need to possibly, at the very least, get some reports out of you so that
Oh,
proper search and action parties can be assembled during the night.
oh, fair enough there. Yeah, we'll
I
head
see.
off to
Alright
your
then.
manor then, get ourselves ready for bed. I'm sure we could use a good soak and everything.
Yes, I need to wash my boots again. I know
Yep.
prestidigitation is supposed to keep it clean, but you never can get enough when a good servant washes your boots.
Aldrin, by the way, if perhaps we have time tonight, may I sit down and have a conversation with you?
I would love that. Yes.
Very well, thank you.
Braxton, I don't feel like feel like a drink tonight when they're chatting.
Oh yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, no, that sounds fantastic. We could chat about our similar interests. It'll be great.
Aye.
So, for the sake of brevity, everyone can take a long rest as you're in a quote-unquote safe environment.
A
I would like someone to roll a 1d4.
sure. 3.
I want you to be Winter, so you're just
Congratu-
sad that we just
Congratulations. Congratulations. You get normal, ordinary, non-dickish. Aldrin.
Uh,
We need threes every day, baby. We need to keep the threes going.
so
Okay, let me just give you a breakdown. One is Spring, where he's basically a coked up frat boy. Number 2 is if he's just basically, think of Doomslayer, quiet, angry, and murderous. 3 is Autumn, where he's just a normal dude, and he's just like okay. And number 4 is Winter, where he's very depressed and emo, and quite possibly just like wax poetic.
okay. So by the way, 2 things. 1, Sunny will sit down and have that conversation with you,
Mm-hmm.
and he will say, I do not mean to cause alarm or offense, but you are not particularly getting along well with the other members of our group.
Really? I thought we were having swimmingly. No one tried to decapitate each other or feed each other to their dogs or murder their uncle and blame it on them. Honestly, this is a much better social situation than I've had normally.
Well, I believe things could escalate to those points if you continue to behave in the manner in which you have conducted yourself. You see, to put it bluntly, you would be classified as boastful and arrogant with a penchant for sociopathic tendencies. Your comments are concerning, to say the least, and you have shown a lack of empathy towards others. This is causing frustration and friction with the other people in this group.
So you say if
I don't know if Michael is role playing or just giving me an intervention. Continue.
Why not both?
Aldrin in his crazy spring form is like, maybe you're right. If I show, what was it, empathy, and what was that second thing? Kind of blanked out on that.
Sympathy?
Yes, sympathy. As he starts writing this down, yes, okay. Okay, empathy. Let me try. You know that scene? If you guys ever watched that, Spider Into the Spider reverse scene where where he puts the hand on the shoulder and looks him deep in the eye and says, "How are you?"
I am well. Thank you for asking. You are doing.
That is good. I hope you are having a good day.
I am. This is better. You are conducting yourself in a more positive direction.
I see. I shall continue to do this. Thank you for this. God damn it, gods and all things horrid. That was horrendous. Ugh.
I would suggest you continue trying to keep that appearance up, as it will be more palatable to the others. And if you do, as I go into my bag and pull out a red lollipop, I will give you, as I hand it to you, I will give you another lollipop.
He instantly snatches it. It's like, I don't know where you've gotten this delectable divine ambrosia, but keep bringing this on, and I shall be as good as your, I don't know, choir boys as you people call them. Yes.
Very well.
And he
If you continue to act in an acceptable manner, I will continue to reward you with candy.
Yes, yeah, empathy, yeah, whatever. He kind of he like crab walks away with candy, like a gremlin, like Gollum hiding the One Ring, as he walks towards whatever room he has with candy.
I will go find the others real quick.
It doesn't take you long.
Seamus, so what kind of ale do you prefer? Do you prefer a deeper, heavier ale, or more of a like APA or something?
I'm prefer the more the heavier stuff, I suppose. But one more used to.
Hey.
Greetings.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey there, Sonny. How's it going?
It is going well. I believe that I have found a way to influence Alden's behavior in a way that would be more palpable to us.
Oh, I gotta apologize to that guy. Well, I don't really think I need to, but I think I was getting incessantly angry with him, mostly because a lot of my blood left me, and then I turned into what I turned into, and that kind of like stokes up the rage.
Speaking of which, there, Fido, how did that occur?
Oh, it's during one of my very many exploits. I was an archaeologist before all this. I went around searching for tombs and dungeons and all that fun stuff. And then I found something and it cursed me. And the exact effects, I haven't really worked out the kinks to. And so, not really, I don't usually like going deep into that story unless I have to, if that's okay.
No, that's fair. I was just curious. I could see why you were so adamant about not being able to change shapes.
Yeah. It was a classic misdirection, as the lads say.
Oh,
Yes.
I could see that.
Did
Well-
I fool you for a whole second?
Completely.
I-
none the wiser.
I had no reason to suspect otherwise.
Sweet. Yeah. No.
Well, let's be
It's
honest.
it's
Oh, sorry.
no. Go ahead.
I was just saying, let's be all honest here. All a bit, well, except maybe Sonny here. I got a bit of a changing personality sort of thing.
Yeah. True. I guess. I mean, Sonny. I don't think Sonny. I think Sonny's got a little bit of. I think Sonny can change and adapt. I mean, apparently he learned how to calm Aldrin, and that's like a change that I wouldn't have saw coming in a million years.
I mean, his eyes are
Well,
pretty neat.
I have.
Sure.
Oh, thank you. But back to Aldrin. I simply offered him candy, and that seemed to catch his attention long enough for me to be able to talk to him. And I have struck a deal.
Sure hoping he's not using that candy to lure children away.
There, for a moment, the eyes flicker blue and back yellow, and I did not consider this possibility. I will have to keep an eye on him. But for the time being, it seems he has a irresistible sweet tooth, to which I can then I have made a deal with that if he continues to behave himself in an acceptable manner, I will reward him with more candy. Which reminds me, do you two have preferences for what kind of candies you like? I have many. I have lollipops, jawbreakers, gumballs.
That's
I
the
used to carry chocolates, but they would melt in my bag and collect at the bottom, which was not enjoyable to clean.
To be fair, I think I'm okay on the sweets for the moment. Though I do appreciate the offer there, Sonny.
Very well. Very well. Braxton.
Oh, I mean, I used to, and then the whole, you know,
He kind of like leans back in his stool, looks left and looks right, and like makes sure it's just the three of them, and then whispers,
the whole lycanthropy thing made me kind of turn off from most other non-meaty flavors. Like, I know be wrong, I can still like eat bread and all that stuff. It's just not as like good.
Well, I do have a bacon flavor gumball, if you would like it.
Yeah, I try it.
There you go.
Oh, thanks. No, I mean, you know, I didn't expect to get one now. Thank you very much. If you ever need more candy or something, I'm sure if I could find some sugar around here, I could try to use the alchemy kit to make you some homemade stuff.
Oh
I
boy.
I appreciate the offer. Thank you, Braxton. Although, for the moment, as I just hold up this big bag of candy, I believe that I am well acquainted for the moment.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, you look like you got enough for everybody, and Seamus just takes a swig of the thick ale. This is going to be a really interesting journey with all of us.
Yeah.
I look forward to changing Barovia for the better with all of you. May the sun guide us.
Well, hopefully we can change Barovia for the better. We'll see. At the
Yeah,
moment, I'd just
you
be
know-
happy to get out of Barovia, to be honest.
I mean, do you mean the town, the country, or like?
Take your pick.
The top of the country of the planet.
Yeah.
My son, the planet of me. Yes.
Yes.
Good smartass.
Well, you know, I'm still excited to explore this land a little bit more and see what we can turn up. I mean, this is a place that's been missing for apparently 600 years plus. Finding stuff and then reporting back would always be great historical finds.
Tell you what, we'll keep each other safe, make sure we all get out of this alive, and you can report all your findings, Braxton. Hell, I'll even
I'm
write.
keeping
This
a
place
journal.
could. Who knows? This place could even inspire me to write a few ballads.
I will.
I mean, you already got one going, and
Yeah, it's between the robot and the
making
Fae.
an entire press release.
Although I'm starting to think I might change it to the robot and the Pratt.
I can hear you.
I will.
Algin, why don't you just come into the room?
Elgin slowly walks into the room. You notice he's a bit different. His hair has gone bright orange, and his skin has gone like a very tanned orange look.
Here, Algin,
Yes.
you got a haircut.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
Looks over at Brax, is like, you realize a haircut's when your hair is cut, right? His hair is completely different.
No, like, you know, there's a lot of times where someone looks completely different, and you're just like, it must be new hair. You know what I mean? I usually just default to that.
Oh, is that how
were
you
making
did?
a
Wise
joke.
decision.
I gotcha. So every
uh,
time we're talking about you and your situation, we'll just say you got a haircut.
Exactly. Because a lot of hair stopped. You know, yeah, that's fair.
I suppose. Yes, I suppose that's wise. Well, what are you guys talking about today?
We're just talking about us exploring this land.
Yes, quite an interesting line at that. Though surprisingly dead. I wonder
Or
if that can
undead
be
at the
changed
moment.
for-
I believe we are able. It is within our power to change this land for the better through perseverance and by showing an example of hope to the people of Barovia.
Yes, as he Elgin grasps your shoulder. Yes, such noble ambitions will brighten the day for tomorrow.
Have
I
a
agree.
toast before we go to bed.
Aye, cheers here, boys, to a well-fought battle against undead creatures in a well.
Yes. Oh, and I honestly should apologize. I'm sorry for what I did. I thought it had been the right decision. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna apologize for being so angry at you anyway. You know what? Cheers to friendship.
Yes, friendship.
To
To
new
friendship
beginnings.
and to light.
Yeah,
New
if you guys,
begin-
if you guys aren't realizing it, like Aldrin's personality has radically changed.
We're noticing really quickly. I
To
kind
the
of like
light.
you like this, Aldrin. No, what do you call this form of yours?
This is the autumn form of the Eladrin. It's mostly our people call it the more diplomatic and charming form. I don't know why though.
You seem less energetic, and
Yes.
given our current atmosphere, I believe that would be preferable for many people here.
Yes. Yes, it's our most how we say diplomatic form. It is the courtier and the diplomat
Well-
which we take on.
Oh, Aldrin, before I forget, you are eating that candy I have given you, correct?
Yes, of course.
Do I believe that?
We go into
Uh,
Aldrin's room. We just
you-
hear
you-
muffled screams of a child in a trunk.
No, if you do you want are you gonna do an insight? Are you gonna do an insight?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Should I tell you? Like Aldrin is like he kind of you see Aldrin like look back at the room and then look at you like shit quick eyes. Like he's looking back in the room quickly before answering you, like saying yes, of course.
You are not keeping anything from us, are you?
Well, he looks around left and right, and he says, "Well, you see, I've been hiding it. You see, such things are a treasure. I can. You see, all Fae have a high sweet tooth. Like the saying goes, to attract the Fae is to use milk and honey. So I'm planning to take this back and selling it for a fortune and noble prestige. I hope you don't mind.
I find this acceptable.
Yeah, I'm good.
There.
Behold, I bring you jawbreakers.
Name me your prince."
You know what? I'm more imagining the E.T. scene where they just like eat the candy and then we trap them under a box.
Hilariously enough, in a lot of mythology, that's how it works with Fae. You find a lot of like sweet things, make a trap, and then the Fae can't resist the sweet
Is
things.
it literally James Wood Family Guy thing?
Yeah,
We're like,
piece
ooh,
of candy.
and
Yeah,
then you
just
drop it.
that was what was making fun of
Yeah.
E.T.'s. E.T. was wandering around getting those candies.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, ooh, honey, and then you catch them, and it's like, oh, I have a fairy now. Okay.
Yep, it is true.
So, eventually Ismark will return, and let's call it there.
I was thinking that's what I was trying to do, the toast and stuff, but
Yeah.
we had more stuff. I'm sure Braxton and Seamus would have probably wanted to do a conversation about being ASMR and everything like that, but we can get back